Check 1-2, radio check. What's the deal? Run the bomb through the corner, lane up through the triangle. Not sure why we did that. I don't know the plan. 88 was screaming everybody gets in the bottom. We should just run all out and wait till after the fourth pit. Out of the gas, slow down. He's got it right in front of me.
Here comes that number 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs your line. It's Kurt Sponsler. Sponsler will pick up stage when Mr. Garland is Garland leading the way, showing these drivers how to get it done.
Engines roar louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Outcast League, tearing up the blacktop terrain. Rubber burning speed, churning gasoline in their veins. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends, never out of sight. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends, never out of sight. Racetrack gladiators, helmets on tight. Every second matters, every turn ignites. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray. Louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray. Engines roar louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Outcast League, tearing up the blacktop terrain. Rubber burning speed, churning gasoline in their veins. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends, never out of sight. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends, never out of sight. Racetrack gladiators, helmets on tight. Every second matters, every turn ignites. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray.
Woo! Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here this evening from the beautiful Talladega Super Speedway as the Outcast Racing League back in action, ready to rock and roll again here tonight for what will be an amazing night of racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming as NASCAR racing at its finest here at Talladega Super Speedway for a night of just bumper to bumper action here as each and every one of these drivers will get ready to rock and roll. They will get ready to see that green flag fly here as starting on the pole here in the Brandon Randall Memorial Race here this afternoon. Brandon Randall Memorial Race here this evening as each and every one of these drivers, a lot of them, they've got the Brandon Randall Memorial sticker on their race cars. We'll see that and go through that throughout the night, but our starting grid will look like this. As starting on the pole in the number 9 ride, it is the must-love Poodles machine of Tyler Humphrey. To his outside, there's one of those Brandon Randall Memorial cars right there. The 8 machine Rob Tuwisku, who will start there in position number 2. Ryan Anderson in that DuPont Automotive finishes number 44 ride, starting there in third. To his outside in the Dallas Cowgirls number 81 machine, it's Anthony Garland, who will start there in fourth. Back in that 5th position is James Garland. Who's outside the Smoky Ridge Racing 88 machine is Brian Heaton. Then we do see the must-love Poodles number 75 of Evan Fuqua. Mike Killingbeck back there in that 70 machine. Josh Bromfield and that must-love Poodles number 48 ride of Grant Humphrey rounding out our top 10. The beautiful Sport Clips haircuts and number 11 ride of Mark Belair will start there in 11th. To his outside will be the number 2 of Corey Crowell. You will have his dad right there behind him, Edward Belair, in position number 13 there. So the Belairs sitting back in 11th and 13th for the initial start with Dom Slavo, Joshua Benton, Devin Black, Colton Manage, Nicholas Barton, Michael Wolf, Chris Muse back there in that 20th position with Darrell Whitford, Brandon Puffenbarger, Austin Smith, Wayne Garland, Lance Brantlinger, Gary Wright bringing up the rear of the field is 26 drivers ready to rumble here this evening in the Brandon Randall Memorial Races. The 9 rider Tyler Humphrey will see that green flag fly, and we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly into battle here at Talladega Super Speedway. Tyler Humphrey out in front. He's got that top spot and obviously getting a good run here down low as the 44 going to stick with him. Outside lane, unfortunately, falling back a few car lengths here to start this feature event. And you already see maybe a third line starting to get rolling out there on the racetrack. You take a look back here at the 2-rider, Corey Crowell, in that 28 machine of Dom Slavo. They have worked their way up and into that third groove out there on the Speedway. Looks like Anthony Garland in the Dallas Cowboys, number 81, he's going to slide up there as well. So they're trying to get this third lane kind of formed. Unfortunately, just not a lot of help up there, and right now not a ton of speed, and unfortunately, they're all going to fall back quite a bit there on the racetrack. Is out in front, the inside lane just paying off perfectly here as Tyler Humphrey leads our first lap of the day. So Tyler Humphrey out in front, but we're going to continue to see these, these runs and these drivers continue to move around as we do see some contact, and I believe it is going to be Anthony Garland who is going to go around. The Dallas Cowboys number 81 machine crashing and burning just like the Dallas Cowboys do every single year. Here as we'll take a look, see what happens to Anthony as he's getting a good run, gets to the back bumper here of the 10 ride. I'm not sure if, yeah, it just looks like maybe check up there a little bit. He ends up getting into the 10 machine here. Shoots down the racetrack across the nose of this 16 ride of Gary Wright. Wright is really nowhere to go. Just looks like he gets a big run. Reels in there, gets into that back bumper. Luckily enough for the 10 machine, able to keep pointing the right direction. For the 81 ride, though, he comes down the racetrack into the lap of Gary Wright, into the 20 ride as well. And as they get tied together, unfortunately, you're going to watch Gary Wright get kind of punted back up the racetrack. The Nuts.com ride all of a sudden parks on the lap. Big hit right there for Dom Slavo. Slavo ends up making some hard contact there into him in that Schenko custom diecast number 28. Then you see Wright gets up into the outside fence right there, and unfortunately, early on here, some chaos, some mayhem. I do believe you're going to see the 20 ride of Daryl Whitford's going to get a little contact, a little damage into this as well. He gets hard into the back end of that 81 ride, and as Garland just kind of slides down onto the apron here, the yellow flag is displayed, obviously, for Wright parked sideways there in the middle of the back straightaway and getting a few other drivers collected there. Obviously not the way that these guys wanted to start here this afternoon. Obviously, some big hits, some tore-up race cars early on. Now, luckily enough, I don't think any of these drivers are going to have to use a quick repair this early. I think they're going to be good to go here this afternoon without having to use that quick repair. I think they are going to be good here to be able to just come down pit road. You get a lot of time during these caution flags that you can, sit down there for a minute, 2 minutes, and kind of get some really good service done to your race car, get it fixed back up without using that quick repair, still staying on the lead lap and staying into the action here as Anne-Marie, what's good, Anne-Marie? Anne-Marie coming in showing the love, says, rest easy, Brandon. I wish I could have met you, but thank you for being a great friend to my toots. I know you're watching down on him. Yeah, that is absolutely heartbreaking, man. Our hearts and prayers obviously go out to Brandon Randall, all of his friends and family, and the wrestling community. As take a look here, we got a bit of an update from James Garland earlier. Just wanted to get a little bit more information about Brandon Randall, and let's see if we can get some of that information up here during our first caution flag of the day. Is obviously a heartbreaking story, a heartbreaking thing that has happened, and let's see if we can get a good look at it here. Okay, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna go here, and all right. So shout out to James Garland getting this all together, man, and doing this for a great friend and a brother of his, as this is the Brandon Randall Memorial Race here this afternoon. And let me see if we can get a good look here at what James had to say. I'm in the wrong category here. Let me go back. So, I guess yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of his death, man. That is tough. That is really, really tough. As, man, that is crazy. As he says, Brandon was a really good friend of James Garland. They were really, really good buddies, and unfortunately lost his battle to colon cancer last year. And before he found out that he did have cancer, he was pursuing his dream of being a professional wrestler under the name Logan Wade. That this man was all about his family, and unfortunately he left behind 5 kids. It meant the world to him, man. That is absolutely heartbreaking, man. hate to hear stories like that. Hate to hear, that happened to, such a young man. And like, he was born in 1991. I mean, that was not too long. I mean, he's 3 years older than I am. That is crazy. That is crazy. And our hearts and prayers go out to Brandon Randall, his friends and family, James Garland, and everybody that knew Brandon in the wrestling community and the racing community and everything else. As a heartbreaking story, and our hearts and prayers go out to them. And this race is for Brandon. I know he's watching. I know he's watching down on James. I know he's watching down on this race, cheering these guys on, wanting to watch some really, really good racing here this evening. As super happy that James got this going, man. That is awesome to do. It is definitely a really cool thing to do, and being able to jump in here and be able to, be the announcer for such an important race for, potentially his children, his family and friends, and for the wrestling community, for James himself, and obviously for the entire league here, as obviously this one's going to be with heavy hearts all night long here in the Brandon Randall Memorial Race. As each and every one of these drivers will get ready to rumble, they will get ready to go back to green flag racing, as we did see a few extra drivers head down pit side, starting with Devin Black. Devin came down pit side, so did Grant Humphrey, Chris Muse, Corey Crowell, Austin Smith. A lot of these drivers ended up back down pit side here. They were able to get some extra fuel into their race cars here, and obviously for some, getting some repairs. As you look at Dom Slavo in that number 28 ride, he needed to get some repairs. Same with Gary Wright, Anthony Garland, Darrell Whitford. Looks like they're all able to get their cars pretty much right back into perfect condition here and ready for our first restart of the day. As our first restart, we'll get ready to rumble here this evening, and for each and every one of these competitors, every one of these drivers, they will get ready to start duking it out here again, man. This is going to be another interesting battle, another interesting start here, as it seems like we're going to go single file for this restart. Okay, this one's definitely a little bit more interesting. Single file restart here in stage number 1 of the day is the Must Love Poodles number 9 ride. Tyler Humphrey will say, all right, I'm fine with that. That means that he's going to have, a little bit extra room to work out there on the racetrack and try to keep things cool, calm, and collected here in this first run of the day, as down through the United Rentals restart zone. Here we go, back to green flag racing here at Talladega Super Speedway, as Tyler Humphrey gets a good launch, good jump right there. Anderson's right there with them, and his teammate Evan Fuqua back there in position number 3, looking to stick right there with them, trying to keep this line just kind of bound together. You start to see a few drivers maybe wanting to get that second lane roll in here. As you look back, you do see that beautiful time 69 ride of Joshua Benton. He was looking a little bit more to the outside. Unfortunately, did not pull the trigger on it. Kind of looked like he was thinking about going back up there again. Doesn't seem like Mike Killingback or Bart and any of these drivers have that kind of, on their bucket list to kind of make those moves, and unfortunately, we are going to see the caution flag come back out. So another quick caution flag here this evening, as the 10 ride gets lined up here with his teammate, a pair of the Smoky Ridge Racing rides, lined together here down the back straightaway. Just a big shove coming from Michael Wolf into Brian Heaton. They just kind of get all tangled together. Unfortunately, there for Wolf, goes upside down. Big hit there for that toy car, as the 10 ride's going to go upside down. You get a great look underneath of that 10 machine and what these cars look like underneath the skirts here this afternoon, as the 10 goes airborne, as things, I think, just kind of get a little broken up here. I don't know if it's just the big run from the 10 ride and the 88, but you can kind of see how the 69, the 70 kind of get a little checked up there. The 22 ride, he's checking up, and it seems like the 88 realized that the 10 ride maybe didn't, or even if he did, he was able to make it pretty nicely into corner number 3. And the 84 just a little too far back there. You're going to watch Wayne Garland get in here, and unfortunately, as he does, he's going to get to the back bumper of the 10, just into the wrong spot here. If you're going to bump draft, if you're going to try to give him a big shove and a big helping hand, you need to get square to that back bumper, and unfortunately, for the 84 ride, Wayne Garland. He's just more towards that right rear quarter panel, and it virtually just hooks the 10 ride right up the racetrack into the lap of Grant Humphrey. Grant's got absolutely nowhere to go as the 10 car comes shooting up the racetrack onto his lap. Heavy damage there for the must-love Poodles. Isabel's Impact, number 48, and huge damage here. Obviously upside down and going for a massive slide here in that 10 machine, that Smoky Ridge Racing ride. Definitely not a fun one right there. Let's take a look back. Let's see if we can jump off board here with the 10 ride. See what Michael can see from the cockpit here as they storm down the back straightaway. Now, these guys are just building up that speed. From the restart, they're just starting to get things wound up. They're just starting to get things rolling. And then all of a sudden, things kind of get a little crazy there. And you do see kind of where that checkup happens. But, man, it's a big couple hits right there for Michael Wolf. And then you see him just skidding down the racetrack, and oh, that's never a sight you want to see there if you're a racer out there on the racetrack, man. When you can hang that left hand out the window and scrape it along the pavement, that is definitely not where you want to be. But you can see how the 5 ride, he's on the throttle. He is trying to build up that speed. They're trying to get to the max speed here down the back straightaway and into corner number 3. And as they start to roll into some more of these drivers in front of them, they get checked up. And you see that with this 10 ride. He goes from, high level there. You saw the RPMs up and into the right area. And unfortunately, he's already way off the throttle. And he's about, half throttle, a quarter throttle here as they head down into corner number 3 as he rolls out of it. Fortunately, Wayne Garland did not get the memo. Gets into him, gets him up the racetrack. Hard contact there, and that is never a fun spot to be. Let's see if we can jump in and see what we can see from Grant Humphrey as well. As Grant Humphrey on the outside lane here. Grant's really going to have absolutely nothing to do with this until the 10 car ends up on his nose cone. And bam, there it is. And that's how quickly it can happen. That's how quickly your night can go from being good to going wrong in a quick hurry out there on the racetrack. And your day could be over in a quick hurry. And now you see Humphrey can't even see. Where's he going? Oh, gosh, he may have to slow down enough to get that hood down. Oh, there it is. Okay, so he gets slow enough. Finally gets that hood down. He can see again. He can see where pit lane is, and he picks up the speed again. He's got to be careful here. Oh, he's going to stick with it. Okay, I figured he'd be down pit side right there, but he's able to stay out there. Luckily enough, that hood does stay down for him, but he still has a ton of damage on that 48 ride as the crew has been going to work trying to get it fixed up and back out there onto the speedway. As Chris Muse Jr. in the chat says, just tuned in. Old Man Muse tuning in, showing the love here in this one as, Chris Muse, he's back here a little deeper in the field here. Unfortunately, didn't get quite the qualifying position that he would hope for. He's already up 8 spots, though, able to dodge a couple bullets and a couple decent wrecks out there on the racetrack, and now finds that must-love Poodles number 3 machine, scored back in about the 13th position after starting back in 21st spot on the speedway. So he's just trying to stick with it, not trying to make any mistakes. Obviously, not a lot of green flag laps here early on in this race to really decipher or to see kind of who's got the strategy, who's got the moves, and who's got the grooves to try to work themselves up to the front of the field and, be the good pusher or be the good shover. Obviously, early on, we've seen the 84 ride maybe not be the best pusher there down into corner number 3. Big hit for him. Obviously, we saw the earlier issue with that Dallas Cowgirls number 81 right at Anthony Garland as he got tied up and unfortunately went around off the nose of that 16 ride. And unfortunately for him, Gary Wright, a lot of these drivers getting early damage, but luckily enough, Talladega is such a big racetrack that you have ample amount of time to sit down pit side, get work done to your race car, and get rolling back out there onto the racetrack. Now, the thing that sucks for us is that all these caution flags, they chew in a lot of time here, man, and they can really drag out these races as we are now, about to complete lap number 9. I think we've ran one lap fully of green flag racing here. So, I mean, it's been rough. It's been tough early on, and for a lot of these drivers, these caution flags and how quickly kind of the laps get clicked down, even though they take a long time, there's not a lot of laps in this race. There is only 90 laps of racing action here this evening, and if we're about to complete lap number 9, that means we're already 10% of the way through this race. And if you've already ran into issues, if you ran into problems, and you've gotten a tore up race car, or you've not been able to gain track position, you gotta be worried that potentially more and more of these yellow flags may still hinder your performance and your ability to try to race your way to the front of the field out there on the racetrack. As Tyler Humphrey sees another restart, another great launch, another good jump there for him, as the inside lane just able to get formed, get rolling here rather quickly. Anderson sticks right there with him. Fuqua there as well. Josh Bromfield, James Garland running out our top 5 as you do see that second lane. This time down the back straightaway, trying to get a little bit more formed here. The 7 of Devin Black does kind of jump down and leave them a little high and dry, but Corey Crowell, Austin Smith, the 5 ride of Brandon Puffenbarger as the 25 now moves up. And unfortunately, the 2 ride was there. The 2 car was sitting in that position, but that move unfortunately kind of shot the 2 up the racetrack there into that 3rd lane. And now they're kind of just trying to get lined up here. Teamwork makes the dream work. And when you're here at Talladega Super Speedway, that's what you got to do as they start to get a little stacked up again back here. Oh, here we go. There they go. Caution flag is back out. Well, at least we got another green flag lap in there. Another green flag lap as, unfortunately, more contact. We saw the stack up down low here for a lot of these drivers, as it looked like somewhere here with Benton in that tied 69 ride, the 70 ride of Mike Killingbeck. They just kind of get mislodged right here. So Muse is all over the back bumper of Nicholas Barton. They're just pushing hard right here. And I think just the way that they kind of get just messed up a little bit here. And drivers kind of just in different areas on the racetrack. And you see Muse ends up pushing the 22 into the 70. The 70 ride, unfortunately, there of Killingbeck kind of gets unglued from the back bumper there of Joshua Benton, and he kind of washes down the racetrack ever so slightly right there to where he's now to the left rear quarter panel of that Downey Tide ride. He realizes that that is not a fun spot to be, that is going to be a problem area, and as he checks up and tries to roll out of it to make sure that the 69 doesn't come down across his nose, unfortunately, the 22 ride didn't get the memo about the checkup there, gets into the back bumper. Unfortunately for Killingbeck, he washes up the racetrack, hard contact there as the 5 ride of Brandon Puffenbarger drives through his back bumper. And then from that point on, it sounds like Donkey Kong, because more of these drivers are trying to avoid it. They're trying to keep themselves out of the chaos here. You do see the 3 machine of Chris Muse. He's going to shoot down onto the apron to try to avoid it. Right there, he goes to the apron. Unfortunately here for a couple of these other drivers, they make that move a little bit too late, and unfortunately a later move kind of hurts them even more out there on the racetrack. As you see the 29 of Brantlinger, he gets into the back end of the 20 ride, and then you're going to see Wayne Garland just not checked up there in time, and he's going to drive kind of into that left rear quarter panel of the 10 ride. Let's see if we can jump on here with this number 84 of Wayne Garland. So Wayne, everyone's kind of running into these issues. Things start to get a little bit wild, and gets into the back end of the 10 there, and then gets back into the 10, then into the 29 as they kind of get tied together. And unfortunately, that's just going to send Brantlinger around right there. Big hit there for Lance as, man, this is a tough break. Tough hits out there on the racetrack. Obviously, everyone's just trying to keep themselves out of the chaos, but the chaos just continue to find them here this evening as cautions breeding cautions. You see the 84 into the 10, kind of drags them both down into that right rear quarter panel of that good wrench number 29 ride, which then spends not only Brantlinger, but the 10 up the racetrack into the lap there of Brandon Puffenbarger. Unfortunately, Brandon ends up with a lot more damage there himself as the 10 machine of Michael Wolf into the outside wall, the 29 ride of Oh, man, Brantlinger unfortunately tore up right there as well, and another quick caution flag out there on the speedway. Another yellow, another opportunity for all these drivers to kind of get, another trip down pit side, get some repairs, get fixed up, get ready for what could be another big restart as we're now 12 laps completed, and we're inching towards the first stage break here of the afternoon here. Our stages are 20 laps and 40 laps here this evening. So out of 20 and 40 laps out there on the racetrack, I mean, we're already more than halfway through our first stage of the day, and it looks like it may just come down to survival of the fittest here in this first stage, and obviously kind of who was able to make the right call, the right strategy out there on the speedway to try to put them into a good position out there on the racetrack. As you do see Edward Belair, Tyler Humphrey, they're back in third and fourth now here on the speedway, but a few of these other drivers that have made the additional pit stops. When you look at Devin Black, Dom Slavo, you look at Tyler Humphrey, a bunch of these drivers, or Colton Manich and Anthony Garland, who are all up inside our top 10 that have been down pit road, have already made a pit stop here this afternoon where they've gotten damage repaired or they just came down pit side to get extra fuel into their race cars. This kind of sets them up nicely here because they don't have to stress. They don't have to worry about fuel for the rest of the stage. And I think even though we've had now, 3 yellow flags here throughout the first 12 laps of racing action, I think everyone else has been able to save enough throughout these yellow flags that even if they haven't come down pit side, they should have enough fuel to get to the checkered flag here, the green and white checkered flag, to end stage number 1. As Devin Black out in front, he leads the way. Looks like as they head back down and across the line, the lights are still on the official iRacing pace truck, but this time should click off and we should get the 1 to go there. As there they go, lights are off the official iRacing pace car. We are 1 to go. Get back to green flag racing here in the Brandon Randall Memorial Race this afternoon, as we'll get a quick word in from our sponsors over at Must Love Poodles.
Who are we? We are Must Love Poodles. Where poodles aren't just dogs, they're family. We are a very small in-home breeder of AKC miniature and small standard poodles, where our motto is quality over quantity. Where every litter is thoughtfully and intentionally bred. And we know that the best puppies come from great parents. And that's why we test every single parent dog for all genetic and orthopedic related issues. But we don't stop there. We also take our dogs to AKC events and make sure they get titles to prove that they have great temperaments. Every puppy is hand-raised in our home and well socialized. We also utilize puppy curriculum and early training methods, which make our puppies a snap to train. They're very eager and human-focused. Every puppy is also temperament tested, which helps us match the puppy to the right home. At Must Love Poodles, we can't promise you the perfect puppy, but we do promise that we will do our very best to prepare your puppy for its future. If you're looking to add a smart, sociable, and highly trainable dog, and you want a breeder that will be there for you before, during, and after, come on over to www.mustlovepoodles.com or follow us on our Facebook page. We'll see you there.
Alrighty, shout out there to Must Love Poodles, one of our amazing sponsors here with the Outcast Racing League, as we get them all ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to green flag racing here this evening from Talladega Super Speedway here in the Brandon Randall Memorial Race here in the Outcast Racing League. Each and every one of these drivers down through that United Rentals restart zone will see the green flag fly once again here this evening in a great launch for our top 3. My gosh, have they ever broken through and just pulled away from those drivers back behind them, because Devin Black now leads the charge here with Dom Slavo and Edward Belair all right there tight together. Now this 3-car pack should see the rest of the field reel them in here in a quick hurry down the back straightaway as Tyler Humphrey rolls there in 4th. Colton Manich back in 5th. Anthony Garland in the Dallas Cowboys, number 81, Ryan rolls there in that 6th position with Evan Fuqua Shaw back there in 7th. Josh Bromfield, James Garland, and Rob Tuwisku rounding out our top 10 as each and every one of these drivers looking for some good stage points here. And stage number 1 quickly coming to a close as they head down through the tri-oval, back down and across the line. Looks like Tyler Humphrey will jump back out in front as Humphrey now back to the point here in this one. So for the Must Love Poodles, number 9 ride, he is leading the charge here, but you do see a big move right there out of the 0-0 Colton Manich. Manich says, you know what, I want to lead this race. I'm going to jump down to the inside groove. I'm going to try to battle with you door to door for this race lead, but now you do see a couple more drivers moving around in the 7 ride onto the apron. Tries to come back up onto the racetrack. Look out, hang on to it, Dom Slavo. The 7 ride of Devin Black tied together. They both end up down and into the infield here. Big hit for both drivers. No caution flag. It stays clean and green out there on the speedway. But, man, that was a big couple hits right there for both drivers. Could be some pretty solid damage for them both. Now, luckily enough, it doesn't come with a caution flag, so that is good news. But we'll watch and see as Devin has the 28 all over his back bumper. Gets a little squirrely right there for the Blacks paint and graphic ride. Gets down onto the apron and then doesn't roll out of it and tries to come back up here now for Dom Slavo. He doesn't have to give up that position. But obviously this definitely cost him and cost the 7 ride a lot of spots out there on the racetrack, as could have tried to roll out of it, could have tried to move up the racetrack there for the 28. Unfortunately, he doesn't. The 7 ride tries to squeeze his way back in there. They run out of room, and then down through this grass, man, it is like driving on ice. And unfortunately, they both just kind of wash back up. Luckily enough, they both either, get pointed back in the right direction or weren't sideways enough on the racing surface to bring the caution flag out. But that could really break up this field a ton out there on the speedway, as Black and the 28 ride both going to stay on the lead lap. They're both going to stay out there and not come down pit lane, so that's a good break for both of them. And the damage isn't bad enough that they have to make emergency green flag pit stops, but you can tell how much it's broken up this field as all of a sudden you see this lead pack. They are out in front. They got a lot of speed, a lot of momentum built up here, and you gotta look a ways away back behind them. 3 seconds here between Lance Brantlinger, who scored it out into the 14th position. So our lead pack is our top 13 drivers out there on the speedway. Lance Brantlinger, Austin Smith, Corey Crowell, they are now outside of the reach of that lead draft, stuck back here in that 14th, 15th, and 16th position on the racetrack. Wayne Garland in this 3rd group here. Wayne, Nicholas Barton, Mike Killingbeck, Daryl Whitford, Brandon Puffenbarger, all kind of here in this 3rd group out there on the speedway. Chris Muse a little farther back there in position number 22 with Grant Humphrey, his Must Love Poodles teammate there with him as well. And then you do see Dom Slavo and Devin Black there in 24th and 25th. Michael Wolf, he's unfortunately scored back here in the 26th position, does find himself as the first driver 1 lap down. Now, lucky news is that there's only 1 lap left to go here in stage number 1 for each and every one of these drivers. That means some stage points are on the horizon, and now we're going to see these guys, our top 13 in this group, really duke it out here to try to earn some big stage points here in our first stage of the day. You see Ryan Anderson, he shoots the middle right there, able to just squeeze in behind Anthony Garland, but you do see James Garland all over the back bumper there of Colton Manich as they continue to push hard down the back straightaway. None of these drivers are going to back down. None of them are going to lift here. They're going to keep on pushing until they see either the caution flag or that green and white checkered flag flying to finish off our first stage of the day. As Anthony out in front, Anderson there to his outside there, door to door, down and out at corner number 4. They head back down to the tri-oval here at Talladega, and nice and easy out of the tri-oval drag race back to the line. It looks like it is the number 44 of Anderson. Too close to call here, but the stage does come to an end. Oh man, that was a crazy finish here for that stage. I'm quite surprised that these guys did not get destroyed out there. But you see a lot of these Vanguard Brandon Randall Memorial stickers on board with a bunch of these cars up inside our top 10 out there on the racetrack. But a great race. They drag race back down to the start-finish line here. We'll have to take a look at it, see who gets it. But I believe it is the 44 ride of Ryan Anderson who picks up. Oh, man, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough to get a good angle at this one. Just by an inch or two, we're going to say it's Ryan Anderson who picks up our first stage win of the day. The Dallas Cowgirls, number 81, Ryan Anthony Garland, will come home in second with the 8 machine. Rob Tuiscu there in third. Colton Manich, the 37 of James Garland, the 88 ride of Brian Heaton. Our top 6 there in the stage with Tyler Humphrey, the 69 of Benton, the number 75 of Evan Fuqua, and the number 12 of Josh Bromfield. Going to round out our first stage of the day here at Talladega Super Speedway. So great finish there, great battle. Door to door, quite a good couple moves out there on the speedway to see who's going to end up with that stage win. But now we will see a lot of these drivers work their way down pit side here, making the next wave of pit stops here this evening. And I think we're going to see probably everyone come down pit road here. I don't think we're going to see anyone try to take a bit of a gamble or a risk to stay out or hope for another couple quick caution flags out there, as the track position is going to be key to success here this evening. And now for Dom Slavo for the number 7 ride of Devin Black. They can get some of that damage repaired from their contact. They can obviously get reattached with the rear end of the field and be able to kind of rejoin the fight here this afternoon, as they'll be able to get right back into the battle. For Michael Wolf, he is going to get the wave around, and that will give him the lucky dog back onto the lead lap here. So all 26 drivers will once again be on the lead lap here at Talladega Super Speedway, and each and every one of them, man, as long as they're still rolling, as long as they're still in the action come towards lap number 90, they are very much in the picture frame of trying to pick up the win here in this one. As I mean, these plate races, man, they're the great equalizer. They're the great equalizer. It brings, you know, a mediocre car or a bad car kind of rolling here and back into the action. As Anne-Marie says, I don't even watch football, but you're killing me. That Dallas Cowgirls. Yeah, I gotta call them that. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, okay? Go Birds, go. Okay, as an Eagles fan, okay, I can't in good faith, you know, say the Dallas Cowboys too many times, okay? It's like Beetlejuice. You say it 3 times, and I'm just gonna burst into flames or something, okay? I can't physically do it. I can't physically do it. As the 81 of Garland rolls there, now out in front. He's out in front. He's got the top spot here in this one. As yeah, I mean, Dallas, man, Dallas. I mean, hey, they did get a good CB. They got a good CB in the draft here this last weekend. So, I mean, good on them for that. I mean, they finally got another decent player on that team. I mean, it's not going to help them. It's not going to fix their issue, and it's definitely not going to win them a Super Bowl. But Anne-Marie says James is an Eagles fan too. Perfect. We love that. We love that, as we do see Anthony Garland here come back down pit road, so he's going to make an additional pit stop here, looking to maybe get some extra fuel into this 81 ride, trying to set himself up here for maybe, that's weird. That's something we never see a Cowboys car do. That's something Dallas never does, and that's cross the line there. Went a little too far in his box, had to back it up, and had to, you know, get the car into the pit stall correctly there to get it serviced, and luckily enough he does get in there. As we'll be poking fun here at the Dallas Cowgirls all night long with that car out there on the racetrack here. Hopefully Anthony doesn't mind the jibs and jabs, but you know, we can take it as well, so he can drop his comments afterwards, that is for certain. As Manich and the 8 rider Rob Tuiscu will now make up the front row here for our next restart of the day, as the Alabama gang back straight away here at Talladega Super Speedway. And to see these drivers inch their way down here and get ready to rumble, ready to go back to green flag racing here this evening, as Manich is going to consume that race lead. Rob Tuisku will be the second place car here for the restart. James Garland and that 44 rider Ryan Anderson back in row number 2 here for this restart with the 88 of Brian Heaton, the 69 ride of Joshua Benton there in that 6th position. Back in position number 7 in that Poor Boy Motorsports number 12 ride, that is Josh Bromfield. To his outside in the Must Love Poodles number 75, it's Evan Fuqua there in 8th. Back in position number 9. In the Milwaukee number 4, that is Austin Smith, who is outside in the Sport Clips. Number 11, it is Mark Belair, who rounds out our top 10, as we'll get them all ready to rumble, ready to go back to green flag racing. As the green flag will come out, it will be potentially a 17-lap shootout here to finish off our second stage of the day. And stage number 2 will be completed at the completion of lap number 40 here this evening. And as they head down into that United Rentals restart zone, Rob Tuisku and manage, and we'll get some good launches, good jumps right there, especially for that inside lane. Tuisku got off to a great launch right there, but not quite as organized as that second lane right out of the get-go. We'll see if Manage can reel him back in and try to battle door-to-door with him, as you do see Ryan Anderson starting to move around here a little bit. He thought about maybe going to that middle groove here and leaving this 8 ride a little bit more high and drawing out there on the racetrack. Thought better of it, though. Sticks with them. They stay nose to tail down low. Unfortunately, just the outside lane trying to push Colton Manage here. Just cannot quite get the run, cannot get the pushes that he's been hoping for, as he does have that beautiful 37 ride right there with him, as James Garland put this race together here in memorial of Brandon Randall, a great friend and a great wrestler in the community. And for James Garland, obviously, you see the Fuck Cancer and Brandon on the side of the car. You see their beautiful Brandon Randall memorial sticker on the hood as well. Let's see if we can get a good look here at that sticker, as let's go to Rob Tuisku. Tuisku's got it as well. Might be a little bit more quiet there, as in loving memory of Brandon Randall, man, 1991 to 2005. That is such a short life, man. That is super sad. Super sad, man. That's actually crazy. I was born in 94, and we're into 2026 now. So, I mean, we are, well, I think he'd be what? Technically, he'd be 3 years older than I am, but I've now lived a year longer. So, I mean, 2 years kind of separating our lifespans right now. It's crazy to think. I mean, if I keep drinking energy drinks the way I am, I mean, who knows? Might be kind of the same timeline right there, but we'll knock on wood, and definitely make sure you guys go get checked out, man. And that's something I don't want to do, but that may be something I need to do, is, colon cancer, unfortunately, claiming another amazing and too young of a life, and I've been telling my boys, I mean, they're starting to reach their 40s. I'm in my early 30s now. I mean, you might want to just go get checked out. And if you guys are in your, 30s, 40s, even your 50s or 60s, man, go get checked out. Make sure that everything is clear and good down there, and that you don't, get surprised by something or find it too late that it can't help you out, as colon cancer and any kind of cancer, man, can definitely go fuck itself. As Rob Tuisku continues to lead the way here, Ryan Anderson, who's been having a solid run here to start this race. Anderson right there in position number 2, looking really, really strong here this evening. Continue to push Tuisku out in front, as Brian Heaton there in 3rd. He's had that Smoky Ridge racing ride right in the thick of it here this evening, as James Garland's worked his way up into position number 4, kind of getting pushed here in that outside lane to the front of the pack here. And what a win this would mean to James Garland, man. He picked a great race for it, as obviously the Super Speedway is kind of the great equalizer, brings all these drivers right together, and any one of these cats can pick up the checkered flag here this evening. You just got to be in the right place at the right time, and you can find your way up and into the winner's circle. And I think for James Garland, he's hoping that him and his Vanguard Simmer Racing teammates can get hooked up together and can find each other late in this race and try to get one of them up and into victory lane here this this evening as you see these guys squirreling down the back straightaway. Everyone's trying to find a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of extra ground, and maybe trying to see if they can make some moves here, seeing if they got something where they can go. And you do start to see a few drivers wanting to find that extra lane as the third groove now starting to get conformed. Here we go as the 69 ride jumps up to the outside lane, kind of throws a bit of a block there. I mean, Fuqua goes with them as the 0-0 Colton Manage and a bunch of these other drivers trying to get that outside lane, storm into the front of the field. And again, it's the Shenko rides that kind of get hooked up here at 28 machine of Dom Salvo, the beautiful 0-0 ride. Unfortunately, it looks like he's had some issues with his trading paints or something, as the 0-0's paint scheme did not want to load in here this evening, even after our refresh. And unfortunately for Manage, score back about the 15th position, but they've tried that a couple times. They've tried to get lined up with, 3 or 4 of their teammates, trying to get that third lane rolling and trying to get it moving out there on the Speedway. And Austin Smith was another one that was kind of looking there to the outside. He left that bottom lane, jumped to that middle, anticipation of potentially seeing his teammates get that third line rolling and seeing them kind of join them there towards the front of the field. I think they were hoping to try to move up into that third groove, help them out, and try to bring them closer to the front of the pack, because now you do see them go 3 wide as the 69 ride going to shove it through the middle here. Oh, look out, they're tight together, and up into the outside fence goes the 4 ride of Austin Smith. Big hit right there for Smith. Heavy right front damage. Obviously, big hit for the Tide 69 ride as well. As let's throw this in reverse. Let's back it up here, Terry, and let's take another look at it. As obviously, we were talking about it as it was kind of happening here. I think the 4 and the 2 ride teammates here with the Shenko rides, they're kind of wanting to move up the racetrack here and join their teammates right here across the line. They're looking to try to maybe go to that third lane, and it looks like the 69 ride of Benton, he knows it. He knows that they're going to try to jump up there, go with Colton Manich, and go with that 28 ride. And I think just somewhere around the lines, they kind of just gave up maybe on the idea. And unfortunately, as they do, it's just going to put them 4 wide. Wayne Garland down low on the very bottom. Joshua Benton there in the middle. Same with the 2 of Corey Crowell. And the 4 car just unfortunately on the outside here. And being in that outside lane just unfortunately is the wrong place to be at the wrong time, as they are 4 wide. And unfortunately here for these 4, I mean, Wayne kind of gets in there a little bit low right here. As you take a look at it, Wayne Garland's going to enter quite a bit higher. Most drivers tend to hug that double yellow line, or even the triple yellow line here, but the double yellow down into corner number 1, and you can see how much higher up he enters. Even kind of washes up there right on the entry, and that just tightens things up even more for Joshua Benton, for the 2 of Crowell, for the 4 ride of Austin Smith. And eventually, as the 69 and 84 make contact there a couple times, it just kind of bounces him up the track a little bit there himself after that little bit of scrub right there. 69 kind of bounces back up the racetrack across the nose of that 2 ride, and that is going to start the whole chain reaction here. And unfortunately for Austin Smith, he ends up into the outside fence. Big pancake there for him. Heavy right front damage for that Milwaukee Chevrolet, as a lot of these drivers just going to roll on around him, and that's going to put him deep into the field. And now with that damage and obviously falling back and losing all that speed and momentum, he's kind of lost the draft there from the rest of the field. So as in Brandon Puffenbarger, Dom Slavo. Looks like James Garland also losing the draft here. Unfortunately for all those drivers, they had fallen back, as I do believe we're going to see James Garland also go for a bit of a ride here, as I think this is the next lap around. We're going to see James Garland run into some issues here himself. So again, it's another Shenko ride. This time it's Dom Slavo. Going to get into the back end of that 37. They get into the 7. They get tied together. And there's a big shot from Joshua Benton. So Benton's been around it. Slavo's been around it. That 37 ride of James Garland. Unfortunately, wrong place at the wrong time, as the 69 gets into the back end of 28, gets him squirrely, shoots him down the racetrack right into the lap there of James Garland. That's going to shove him down onto the apron. Slavo's down on the apron. They're both trying to keep themselves from doing exactly that, washing back up into the racing action there and back into the middle of the pack. And luckily enough, they both able to keep it pinned down on the apron, and they do not bring the caution flag out. So it stays clean and green still out there on the speedway, even after kind of back-to-back huge hits, huge misses, and a lot of craziness there. We stay clean and green. We keep on battling here, and we're quickly inching in towards the end of our second stage of the day. And again, you can kind of see this lead pack kind of getting broken up here quite a bit. A lot of drivers have found themselves on the outside of it, looking in here, hoping maybe for another caution flag. Is now here we go. We see the 22 and Nicholas Barton. What in the world just happened to Barton? He's going to go for a power slide down through the infield grass, and looks like he is going to come to a stop and tow that car down pit lane. Okay, so this is an interesting call. I'm not sure why you wouldn't have just kept on rolling, but let's take a look at it. See what happens here. What happens for that 22 ride as... All right. So no contact, no help. I wonder if maybe the steering wheel or something turned off here for the 22 ride, if something like that may have happened where he ran into that issue and just kind of got onto the binders. Luckily enough, it went down onto the apron, and that was able to kind of get him down pit side. And now that he is down pit side here, obviously he's going to run into some... it looks like he's taking that car right out of the race, right off the racetrack here. So a heartbreaker there for the 22 ride of Nicholas Barton, as I believe he'll be the first driver to exit this race. Looks like Barton's night is going to come to a close here in this one as Rob Tuwisku out in front, though, continuing to lead the charge. Brian Anderson, Brian Heaton. Ryan Anderson, Brian Heaton. Still 1, 2, and 3 out there on the speedway. Josh Bromfield's back in fourth with Lance Brantlinger rounding out our top 5. There you do see Gary Wright as Mike Killingbeck trying to get that outside lane rolling here as Killingbeck scored currently now in that 7th position as Edward Belair down to his inside with Joshua Benton, Anthony Garland. The 11 ride of Mark Belair, Wayne Garland, and that 7 ride of Devin Black. So again, it's our top 13 that have broken away from the rest of the field, as you will see the Must Love Poodles rides kind of back here in this second group. So a bunch of the Must Love Poodles machines right here tied together, as you do see Evan Fuqua, Tyler Humphrey, Chris Muse, Grant Humphrey, all finally able to find each other out there on the racetrack, and now going to try to work together here of just trying to survive out there on the racetrack, because unfortunately, I think they're too far back to have a good run, have a good chance at trying to earn some stage points here late in stage number 2, but they're just trying to survive for the checkered flag. That is the most key and important part of this race, as Colton Manich, Michael Wolf, Darrell Whitford in the 20 ride, in the 2 of Corey Crowell, all right there in that mix, all in that battle. And for right now, they're just hanging out here, waiting for this caution flag to come out, waiting for the stage to end where they can earn some extra points and be on their merry way. And obviously for the drivers a little deeper in the pack, they're hoping to see this yellow flag, hoping to get this stage done and over with, where they can get down pit side, get some repairs, get some changes to their race cars, get back out there, and hopefully just try to keep themselves, close to the lead lap, or get a lap back or something to help them along their way of trying to still compete for the race win here this evening. As the outside lane does kind of fall apart there a little bit, as we do see Devin Black now going 3 wide here. Anthony Garland through the middle has Joshua Benton all over his back bumper. Benton in that beautiful Tide number 69 ride. The Downey machine trying to push the Dallas Cowboys 81 ride up to the front of the pack here. Unfortunately, they have lost a couple of their helping cars in that outside groove, and it just looks like the inside lane is going to prevail here with some pretty key dominance towards the end of our second stage of this day. As Rob Tuwisku out in front, he continues to lead the charge here in the Brandon Randall Memorial Race. He's out in front. He's looking to keep these guys back there at bay, but here comes Lance Brantlinger. Brantlinger jumps to the outside groove. The 29 ride hooked up and ready to rumble, ready to duke it out here in this one. He wants the battle here for the race lead as they head nice and easy down and out of corner number 4. They'll head back down to the dry oval, and this time by the start-finish line, we will see only 1 lap left to go here in our second stage of the day. But look out, the 29 rides around. He's on the middle of the racetrack here. No caution flag, but he does wash back up. Now onto the racing surface, and there it is. Caution flag is displayed as Brantlinger just locks it down, gets parked there on the apron. That will bring the yellow out here. I feel like he probably could have kept that thing rolling, probably could have saved us another yellow flag, but nonetheless, that will end stage number 2 here this evening. Let's take a look at it. Let's see if we can get another angle here, as I'm not sure if potentially a little extra contact, or does 29 ride just come down as they head down towards the tri-oval. This is a spot on the racetrack where these cars are really, really light here. Unfortunately, they get really, really light, and they start to move around a lot through that tri-oval, and unfortunately, yeah, there was no additional contact between the two of them. It looks like the 12 ride of it's a tough break here. The 12 machine, Bromfield just gets loose, kind of washes up the racetrack right there into that left rear quarter panel of that 29 ride of Brantlinger. Nowhere to go for Killingbeck. He's going to get some contact into it to try to, kind of get them both turned around. They both go down onto the apron. Unfortunately for the 29 ride, he goes for a couple spins right here, back out onto the track. Luckily enough, that didn't bring out a caution flag, but then he keeps it rolling, finally gets a lock down here, and right there, kind of parked onto the racing surface. That's where the officials call the caution flag, and we'll see another yellow here, and obviously our stage going to end under the yellow flag conditions. As for Rob Tuiscu, though, he'll say thank you very much as he will pick up the second stage win of the day, with Ryan Anderson in position number 2. Edward Belair will finish the stage in 3rd. Brian Heaton, Anthony Garland, Joshua Benton, Mike Killingbeck, Evan Black, Wayne Garland, and Mark Belair will all earn stage points here in stage number 2 this afternoon. So we're 40 laps in, 50 laps left to go here in this A main feature event. Still a lot of laps, still a lot of racing action left to be had here at Talladega Super Speedway, and for each and every one of these drivers, still a ton of opportunities to rebound, to battle back, to try to get yourself back in to good position out there on the racetrack, as we're going to see each and every one of these drivers make their way down pit side, and this is going to be more than likely one of their final stops. They probably get tires here, as tires are not a huge key important factor. I think for a lot of these drivers, maybe just getting a set now, kind of having decent tires for the final 50 laps of this race is probably going to be their key to success here. They don't want to take tires late in this race. You don't want to have to use tires later on, as obviously, it kind of just messes with your groove. If you're going to make a late race green flag pit stop and you're trying to put tires on, it's going to slow you down a ton. And you do see Tuiscu, Anderson, Heaton, all these guys, no tires going onto their race cars. A lot of these other drivers also going with absolutely no tires. But we do see Bromfield got some and some repairs here. Looks like Killingbeck's trying to get his 70 ride fixed up and back into decent working condition, and ready to roll back up there on the Speedway himself. But out in front, it is the Vanguard Sim Racing number 8 machine. Rob Tuiscu, not only currently with the race lead, but also picks up our second stage win of the day. As man, this has been a very exciting show, a very good race so far here this evening. And if you guys are enjoying the racing action, if you guys are enjoying the fun here at Talladega Super Speedway, and you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a huge favor right now. Even if you're just tuning in for a little bit here to show the love and to show the support here, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button for us. Hit the like button on the stream for us right now. It helps us out a ton here. Hit the subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here at Talladega Super Speedway for the Brandon Randall Memorial Race here with the Outcast Racing League in just a couple more moments, as the lights this time will turn off the official iRacing pace car, and that means we will get the one to go back to Green Flag Racing for what will be our final stage of the day, which will be just shy of 50 laps of racing action. And for each and every one of these drivers, things have kind of gotten a little bit more cleaned up here, and I think with this being the final stage, knowing that there's no stage points coming up here rather soon, I think we're going to see a lot of these drivers maybe play it a little bit safer, a little bit more cautiously throughout this run. We are more than likely going to see 1 or 2 waves of green flag pit stops out there on the racetrack, and with green flag pit stops kind of on the horizon here, definitely is going to make things very, very interesting, very, very fun for everybody to enjoy here this evening, as Rob Tuiscu out in front has the top spot. He is ready to rock and roll for this restart as the lights are off the official iRacing pace car, and we will get that one to go back to Green Flag Racing, man. This is going to be fun. This is going to be interesting. Obviously now just a little under 50 laps of racing action. I believe when we go back to Green Flag Battle here for stage number 3, our final stage of the day, it will be a 47-lap run to the checkered flag. So 47 laps to try to put yourself into the winning position out there on the speedway, as the 22 rider Nicholas Barton, he's going to get checked up. He's going to let the field go back around him. Unfortunately there for Barton, he ran into issues down through that apron throughout that second stage, and unfortunately here for the 22 ride did lose quite a few laps back there, and just tough, man. That's a tough spot. Was having a good run, having a good day at the speedway, and now finding himself back here, you know, I believe 7 laps down out on the racetrack. I mean, it's going to be dang near impossible to get those laps back, to get back into the battle here this evening, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here from Talladega Super Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let us know in the comment section right now what you think of the broadcast. Let us know who you're cheering for and who you want to see up and in victory lane here this evening, as Rob Tuiscu, Ryan Anderson are front row ready to see that green flag fly once again, as they'll head down into corner, well, this is the front straightaway, and they'll head into the tri-oval, and they'll see that United Rentals restart zone, and they will get ready to go back to battle. And this is going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see kind of how these drivers handle this final stage. It's virtually half this race. Obviously no stage breaks, so what is the game plan? Do you race as hard as possible? Do you hang back? Will fuel potentially become a problem late in this race if we do see a long green flag run out there on the racetrack, as the green flag is back out in the air for Rob Tuiscu, who gets a great launch, great jump right there, and for the 8 ride, he'll hold on to the top spot. Anderson is there in second, with Heaton right in third, and these 3 have worked really, really good together throughout this race. And a lot of that second stage, they were lined up 1, 2, and 3 out there on the speedway, and it worked out really well for them there at the end of stage number 2. So we'll see if they stick with that game plan, stick with this strategy, work together here throughout the rest of this A main feature event, and trying to put themselves into a good position here for the win later here this evening. It's nice and easy back down across the line. They will see the halfway marker. No, they are going to see 44 laps completed here this afternoon. So 44 laps down, and we're about to inch towards that halfway point here this evening from Talladega Super Speedway, as Tuiscu starting to see that second lane get a little bit more formed, a little bit more together. And look who's right back up there, you know, battling through that bad weather, and now sitting out in front here. It is that good wrench number 29 of Lance Brantlinger. Brantlinger finds Chris Muse, the 75 ride of Evan Fuqua, and they go steamrolling right to the front of the pack. As now you do see the 29 ride of Brantlinger and Muse. They both jump down to the inside lane, but Muse decides, okay, I'm going to push you a little farther out in front. Oh, look out, there's contact. Oh, man, that was a big hit from Muse. Oh, brother, caution flag is back out on the racetrack. That was a wild move right there. I'm not sure what the game plan, what the strategy call was on that one for Chris Muse. I thought for certain, okay, here's the game plan. He's going to try to push this number 29 ride to the front of the field. Clears the inside lane, and right here he leaves the 29 ride. He jumps up and leaves him after they clear the bottom groove. They're both able to get down. Unfortunately here for Muse, he's not able to bring his teammate with him. Unfortunately for the 75 ride of Evan Fuqua. Fuqua couldn't get down there with them, and I think this is the strategy for the 3 ride. I think right here he's thinking, okay, I'm going to jump back up into that second lane. I'm going to see my teammate catch up to me right here, and then oh man, this big hit right there for that 29 ride, but I just don't see the call here for the 3 ride as he jumps up to that outside groove, hoping that it helps out his teammate in the Must Love Poodles, the number 75 ride. And as the 75 starts to reel in towards his back bumper, Muse just decides, I'm going to dip out of that idea, tries to get back in low underneath, or right behind the 29 ride. And unfortunately, a Brantlinger, man, he just got back out in front and just got taken back out again here. That was a big hit. Big hit there for Muse. Big hit there for the 29. Let's take another look at it here. And unfortunately for Brantlinger, right here, contact. 3 ride comes down. Clips him, shoots him right up into the outside fence, ends up clipping the 4 ride there of Austin Smith as well, and he gets turned around, bouncing off the outside fence there a few times, comes to a rest down the bottom side of corner number 1 here on the Speedway, and unfortunately, that was a big hit there for him, big hit for the 4 ride as well, and unfortunately for all those drivers, I mean, tore up race cars out there on the Speedway, and another quick caution flag out there on the racetrack. So another yellow flag here this evening. I believe this is caution flag number 6 now. Caution flag number 6 here on the evening for the beautiful Talladega Super Speedways. We'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to try it all over again, ready to try to go back to battle here in this one. But you guys don't go anywhere because we're going to get back to action here in just a couple more moments as we'll get a quick couple words in here from our amazing sponsors over at the RT3 Designs LLC.
Tonight's racing action is brought to you by RT3 Design LLC. When it comes to designing your dream home, precision matters, just like it does on the racetrack. At RT3 Design, we specialize in custom residential design, construction drawings, and bringing your vision to life from concept to blueprint. If you can dream it, we can design it. RT3 Design LLC, built on precision, designed for life. Tonight's racing action is brought to you by RT3 Design LLC. When it comes to designing your dream home, precision matters, just like it does on the racetrack. At RT3 Design, we specialize in custom residential design, construction drawings, and bringing your vision to life from concept to blueprint. If you can dream it, we can design it. RT3 Design LLC, built on precision, designed for life.
Alrighty, shout out there to the amazing RT3 Designs team for putting together that little commercial to give you guys the update on what and, you know, who RT3 Designs LLC is. If you guys are in the area, make sure you guys check them out. Make sure you guys give them a call and get them to build your next amazing dream out there in real life. As we'll get them all ready to rumble here as our 6th caution flag has been displayed here in the Brandon Randall Memorial Race for each and every one of these drivers. Obviously, for some, it's another opportunity to head down pit road, try to play a little bit of different strategy here when it comes to the fuel mileage out there on the racetrack. Now, we did see Rob Tuwiscu, Brian Anderson, Ryan Anderson, Brian Heaton, Michael Wolf, and Darrell Whitford. They all stayed out. They did not come back down pit side. They're on lap number 47. Now, they didn't have too much green flag laps in right there. They didn't really burn up too much fuel, but for all these other drivers, getting that extra little bit could be the difference maker between having to make, you know, potentially 3 pit stops here in this final run or potentially making only 1 green flag pit stop here throughout this final half of this feature event. So we'll have to wait and see how this gets played out for each and every one of these competitors. But you do see Edward Belair back down pit side. He will make an additional pit stop here, trying to get some repairs, trying to get that car worked on. And you do see, I believe that is his son, Mark Belair also down pit side there with him. So Mark also hits pit lane. So doesn't the 7 ride of Devin Black in the Black's Paint Schemes number 7 ride as the beautiful 7 machine will get rolling back out there. They'll all get lined back up and ready to get back into the battles. I believe we're going to see James Garland get the wave around here. I believe Mike Killingback also rejoining the field here. So for these guys able to get back on the lead lap for Lance Brantlinger, even though we still got a little bit of damage here on this number 29 ride, he's sticking with it. He has not lost the lap. He is still very much on the lead lap and still in the fight here this evening. Unfortunately, the only driver that finds themselves a lap down out there on the racetrack are 26 in final position out there on the Speedway. The 22 ride in the Shaw Landscaping Outcast Racing League number 22 of Nicholas Barton finds himself down now 6 laps here on the Speedway. So being 6 laps back there for Nicholas Barton. He's going to be looking for quite a few more caution flags here to try to hopefully get some more wave arounds, try to get himself back into the battle. Obviously, misfortune there. I'm not sure what happened to him, as it looked like maybe his wheel disconnected down into the tri-oval, got it down onto the apron, and had to tow it down pit side, and unfortunately having to rejoin the race and back out of it and everything else unfortunately cost him quite a few laps. Now he has battled back to now only 6 laps down, but we'll see if he can keep on battling here. If he can keep on getting lucky, more yellows could potentially open up that door. Now, I do not want to see 6 more caution flags here on the day, but there is always that possibility. As here we go back down into the United Rentals restart zone for the 8 ride. Rob Tuwisku, he's going to get a great launch, great restart quickly there for that Vanguard number 8 machine. Ryan Anderson trying to stick with him there to the outside as they head down into corner number 1 and 2 here at Talladega Super Speedway. Both the third lanes kind of fall back a little farther as Darrell Whithard trying to get to the back bumper here of that 88 ride, but it looks like for Brian Heaton, he may leave. No, he stays with that bottom groove. He thought about jumping up in behind his teammate in that 10 ride of Michael Wolf, thought better of it, does not jump up there, as now here comes our pole sitter here this evening, the 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey. D-Hump up and into position number 7, trying to battle his way back up to the front of the field here as Whitford down to his inside. Anthony Garland, Colton managed there, rounding out our top 10 is Joshua Benton, Gary Wright, the 2 machine out there on the Speedway. That is Corey Crowell stuck back in 13th with Grant Humphrey and Dom Slavo right there with him, our top 15 out there on the Speedway. But each and every one of these drivers putting together so far a very amazing race is down across the line. That time they completed lap number 50. So 50 laps down. 40 laps of racing action left to go here from Talladega Super Speedway. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button on the broadcast for us right now and hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. Hit that sub button, turn those bell notifications on, that way you never miss it when we go green flag racing here on Peacemaker Gaming. As after tonight's feature event, we will have our post-race interviews, and then we have 2 more races to follow here this evening. 2 more big shows for all the fans in the stands to enjoy here on this fine Sunday night of racing action on Peacemaker Gaming. But we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are just tuning in and you haven't already, make sure you guys crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up. Never mind. Crank it up, caution flag is going to fly. Yellow flag, yellow flag. Every time we try to get a crank it up going, something happens out there, man. The crank it up curse. You don't even have to crank it up technically. You just got to think about it. You just got to get that logo onto the screen, and the crank it up caution flag curse will strike every single time, as it looks like potentially the 2 rider Corey Crowell going to run into some issues here. Looks like Joshua Benton, Puffenbarger, a few more drivers all getting collected here in this one as Corey Crowell. Looks like he's going to get a good run. They maybe get it stacked up a little bit. No, looks like Crowell just That's the inside here of of Benton here, and Benton just unfortunately, I don't know if he realized he was there, nonetheless comes down the racetrack, and they just get tangled together here at corner number 2. So you see the 69 ride kind of exits corner number 2 quite a bit higher, and for Crowell gets a great run, is able to jump to the middle here, and where he's kind of still in line for the draft. And I think for the 69 ride, he wants to follow the 81. He wants to stay right there in the draft of Anthony Garland, and unfortunately, for the 2 ride and for the 69, Crowell was already there. Crowell had already gotten to the middle here. They were 3 wide, and I don't think Benton realized it. He shoots down the racetrack right here and into that right rear quarter panel of the 2 of Corey Crowell, and just hooks both of them up the racetrack into the outside fence. And you're going to watch Brandon Puffenbarger right there. Big hit for him. Huge damage there for Puffenbarger. He then bounces off of Wayne Garland, the 3 right of Chris Muse. Still going around, still sideways out there on the racetrack, just trying to hang on to it there. Unfortunately, though, still some very major contact, and obviously a lot of issues there for Puffenbarger, for the 69 right man. Big hit here down to the infield apron as well for Joshua Benton. Let's see if we can jump on board with this tied 69 ride, kind of see what he sees here down and out at corner number 4. It's right here. You can see in the mirror, 2 right shoots to his inside, sees him right there, and then just kind of turns down into him, hooks them both up into the outside fence, and then he just continues to wash down towards the apron here, and then ends up getting hard into the infield Sanford barrier there as well to cause even more damage, more carnage there for that tied ride. Unfortunately, those are, scratches and stains that they may never be able to repair. Those are scratches and stains they may never be able to fix here on this tied ride. Let's take another look at it, man. Is this just a tough break, tough hit, unfortunate break here for both drivers. Obviously, both having some pretty solid days at the Speedway. And unfortunately, it just unfolds this quickly. This is Talladega, and things here happen in a quick hurry. And unfortunately, some really big hits right there. Puffenbarger gets into his teammate. They get a lot of damage. They're going to be looking for repairs. And for the 69 ride, man, big hit there. Not only to start this caution, but at the end of this caution as well, into that infield fence. But nonetheless, we do see Puffenbarger. We do see killing back Corey Crowell, Lance Brantlinger, the 69 rider Joshua Benton, all down pit side, getting some repairs, trying to get their cars worked on, fixed on, and back out onto the racing surface. Unfortunately, for some, they may be down there for a very extended period of time out there on the Speedway, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go here once again as James Garland leads the charge here. Now, James is the only driver not to pit there on lap number 53 during this latest caution flag. Everyone else, though, does navigate their way down pit lane back on lap 53. So that's going to put everyone kind of on the same fuel mileage game plan here, kind of, midway through this race. But for the number 37 of James Garland, he elected to go for the track position, and, saving that extra 6 laps of fuel may be very tough for him to do, but maybe he can kind of balance it out here and still be able to come down pit road with the next group here, especially if we do see green flag pit stops out there on the Speedway. But that is definitely a question of if, as our 7th caution flag of the day has been thrown there with that issue, with that incident. And unfortunately, for each and every one of these drivers, they know that the old flags, they may not be done here this evening. And for our official iRacing pace car, he's lead a lot of laps here. He's getting definitely a workout here this afternoon here at Talladega Super Speedway. 7 cautions and about I don't even know, 21 laps that he's led out in front of this field now throughout the afternoon in that iRacing pace car ride. But out in front, technically leading this race, is that 37 of James Garland. He will have control here of this restart. So down through that United Rentals restart zone, it's down to the prerogative of this 69 ride on what he wants to do, where he kind of wants to launch through that restart box, and trying to give himself that extra little bit of an edge, that little extra bit of oomph out there to be able to try to keep the second lane back there at bay, kind of break up maybe Austin Smith and his teammate, that 8 ride as I'm sure we're going to see Rob Tuiscu try to jump down to the inside lane here as quick as possible and trying to help his teammate James Garland lead some big laps here this evening in the Brandon Randall Memorial Race here from Talladega Super Speedway. As we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, they are ready to rock and roll. They're ready to go back to green flag racing. And as the green flag flies, they will complete lap number 55 here this evening. So 55 laps down. It'll be 35 laps left to go here in this feature event as they see that green flag come back out, as we're going to jump into our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up here, as we'll hopefully not catch a Crank It Up caution flag this time, but we'll crank it up nonetheless, give you guys the sights and sounds around Talladega Super Speedway here this evening in the Outcast Racing League. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers. We crank it up on Peacemaker Gaming. Caution flag, the big one down into corner number one. A bunch of tore up race cars here in the Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up caution flag. We see a bunch of our front runners get tore up and destroyed down into the first corner here this evening. Let's take a look back at it, but first, let's take a look at some of these drivers collected. There is a lot of cats tore up here in this one. Huge damage here to Evan Fuqua. Really big front end damage there for the Must Love Poodles ride. We did see, looks like Mark Belair tied up in it. Damage there for him. We do see, I believe that is the 5 ride. Collected in it again. Wayne Garland's tied up in it. Huge hit there for Wayne Garland. Looks like Anthony Garland with heavy damage. Tyler Humphrey. A lot of these drivers kind of right in the thick of it here. And a lot of our front runners getting absolutely destroyed out there on the speedway. As we'll take a look and see what happened and what brings out our caution flag again out here on the speedway, and kind of see who this starts with, because I think it starts a little closer to the front of the field here. It looks like a lot of these drivers that are up inside our top 5 even getting tied up in it. As right there's contact between Tuiscu and the 9 rider Tyler Humphrey. Take a look at it here. Man, Tuiscu's having such a good run up towards the front of the field here, leading so many laps here this afternoon, and unfortunately gonna get turned right here. Let's see if we can get another look at it. Another look here at this 8 ride. So for the Vanguard Sim Racing Machine, we're on the inside lane, and it just looks like I don't know, coming out of the tri-oval, maybe the 9 ride here with Tyler Humphrey. Looks like Humphrey just gets a little bit loose on exit and just kind of shoots down the racetrack right here. Shoots down, gets into that right rear quarter panel of the 8 ride. I feel like he was trying to side draft a bit off of Tuisku. Unfortunately, gets down too far and just kind of hooks him right up the racetrack. Hard contact into the outside fence. And for Tuisku, as he does bounce off the fence, he may have, kind of escaped what could have been the worst fate here, and that is getting piled into here in this big wreck, as Tuisku and all these other drivers are going to get some really, really heavy damage here. Obviously, the 10 right on Michael Wolf, he's right in the middle of it. Colton Manich is in there. Anthony Garland's in there. Look at all these drivers that just get absolutely destroyed out there on the Speedway, man. A lot of tore-up race cars, a lot of destroyed race cars here. It doesn't just go from entering corner number 1, it goes all the way down through corner number 1 to the middle of 1 and 2 out there on the Speedway. And there is some absolutely huge hits along the way. So many drivers, just absolutely not for them to do, as you do see Chris Muse get into it, Killingbeck gets into it. The 75 ride right there, 25 of Mark Belair, or of Edward Belair, he gets clipped there as well. Man, there's some drivers that are in this that just really nowhere for them to go. Nothing that they could have done here to try to keep themselves out of it. Let's see if we can take a look here at Mike Killingbeck. As Killingbeck, he's going to have a pretty crazy in-car camera here as they head down and out of corner number 4. He's right in behind this 84 machine of Wayne Garland. He's a couple rows back, but this kind of starts. Everything's just going to get stacked up here in a quick hurry down across the start-finish line. There's the initial contact, and then they all just start bouncing off one another. It looks like he's going to maybe be able to squeeze through it. Unfortunately, he does not, and man, some big hits there for Killingbeck. Down the racetrack, back up the racetrack, into the outside fence, into so many other race cars here, and just so many of these drivers getting absolutely shredded out there on the Speedway. And I believe for the 5 rider, Brandon Puffenbarger, he's basically here at the rear of the field. He's trying to get checked up. He's slowing down, and I don't know if he just didn't see the 8 ride kind of rolling back down the racetrack here. Unfortunately, Tuisku is coming back down the track, and all of a sudden, the 5 rider Puffenbarger just checks his rear end fluid right there, driving through that back end, gets absolutely tore up there himself. Let's see if we can get a look here at Wayne Garland in the crazy rides that he was taking here, as Wayne kind of just right there, nowhere to go for him. Same with that 81 ride as the Dallas Cowboys machine gets hip checked up into the outside fence. Wayne gets into him, then into the 70 ride, and then bounces off the 70 and the 9 machine back up the racetrack. That's where Evan Fuqua gets a bunch of his initial contact. Obviously, we see Bromfield in there. Chris Muse is in there as he drives into that 84 of Wayne Garland. And all these cats, man, just getting absolutely tore up here down into corner number 1. The big one here this evening, I'm going to say about half the field, maybe just a little over half the field, kind of receiving some pretty solid damage right there, and that's going to open up the floodgates for everyone to kind of just keep on coming back down pit side here, get more repairs, get fixed up, try to get back out there, and for some drivers, it may be game over, it may be day over here, but I believe everyone is still very much in it to win it here. I mean, somehow or another, we've stayed, everyone stayed on the lead lap here. The only driver that's 1 lap down is that 22 ride of Nicholas Barton still, but Barton does get another free pass, another lucky dog. He does find himself, though, still 5 laps down now out on the racetrack instead of 6. So he needs that to happen kind of 5 more times out there on the racetrack to really work into his favor, as Anita Krippener coming in, showing the love here in this one, dropping that sub here on the broadcast. Anita, welcome to the Peacemaker family. Welcome to the Peacemaker group coming in, hitting that subscribe button, becoming part of the Peacemaker family here today, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to rumble here for another restart. We still got a lot of laps left to go here, just under 30 laps of racing action left this evening. As we go back to Green Flag Racing, we'll jump back into our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So again, crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite drivers here for another big restart and the sights and sounds at Talladega Super Speedway as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. a beautiful crank it up session from each and every one of our drivers here this evening as we give you the sights and sounds around the beautiful Talladega Super Speedway. Here this evening as the field heads back down into corner number 3 with 21 laps left to go here in the Brandon Randall Memorial Race here this evening as they exit corner number 4. They'll steamroll back down the front straightaway and through the tri-oval back down across the line. These drivers will complete lap number 70 here this evening. So 70 laps down, 20 laps left to go here in this one. As out in front leading the charge here this evening, it is that beautiful number 11 ride, the Sports Clips machine. It is Mark Belair, who now leads the charge here at Talladega Super Speedway. Mark Belair out in front. Michael Wolf is in position number 2 here this evening, trying to keep that outside lane rolling, as Anita in the chat says, oh, loving this, loving it. Absolute amazing racing action. These guys putting together a great show and a great performance for us here this evening as Michael Wolf battles to the outside here of the Sports Clip ride. Belair trying to stay door to door with them, maybe a little side draft down through that dry oval, but unfortunately just not able to carry enough speed and momentum to keep that 10 machine at bay. And now we see Wolf quickly jump down to the inside groove. Now here comes the Dallas Cowgirls, number 81 of Anthony Garland. Garland trying to do what Dallas has been trying to do for the last 30 plus years, and that's try to put themselves into position number 1 out there in the field. And for right now, they are out in front, but like most seasons for the Dallas Cowboys, the crash and burn is always around the corner, and at any point in time, something can go wrong. Another big one out there on the racetrack can collect a lot of these drivers and take them out of the running here this evening, especially now that we see that third lane starting to get a little bit more organized here. You see that number 7, Devin Black. He's up in that third groove. He's trying to get it rolling here. He's got the 8 rider Rob Tuwisku up there with him, and I do believe we do see the 28 rider has been poking his nose up there. He's been kind of back and forth between that third lane and the middle groove here, trying to figure out which one's going to prevail, which one's going to work out best. Unfortunately for both lanes, they're both starting to dissipate, and they're both starting to fall back here from our race leaders, as Michael Wolf out in front, edging out and farther away from that 81 ride of Anthony Garland. And now you do see the 11 of Mark Belair is able to clear him, but now here we go. Green flag pit stops are underway as our race leader Michael Wolf decides to hit pit road. So doesn't Ryan Anderson. Brian Heaton in his beautiful Smoky Ridge Racing ride hits pit road. Lance Brantlinger will come down pit side with him in that beautiful Good Wrench Services number 29 ride. Unfortunately, they're the only 4 drivers that pit here on lap number 73. I think this is right at that cut line, right at that marker where you're good to go on fuel if we don't go to NASCAR overtime. But if we do go to NASCAR overtime, you may want to try to run a few more laps here. You may want to try to get a couple more under your belt to try to give yourself maybe that extra little bit of an edge, that little bit extra of, security, knowing that if there is a late race caution flag, if there is NASCAR overtime, then you won't have to make an emergency pit stop, give up a ton of track position, and set yourself back there deeper in the field here this evening. But sometimes pitting with the smaller group, coming down with just maybe 3 or 4 of your teammates and friends out there on the racetrack can put you into a good position. But one thing you do not want to do is make this green flag pit stop by yourself, as now down pit side by his lonesome, the 69 ride of Joshua Benton. He's the only driver down pit road here by his lonesome, and unfortunately this is really going to set him back out there on the racetrack. He gets topped up on fuel. He's good to go on gas as he gets his splash of gas and rolls back out there, but we'll have to wait and see where that kind of lines him up here, especially when we start to see more and more of these pit stops being laid down. And you got to be careful. You do not want to get a pit road speeding penalty. Oh, brother, that was a very close call right there for Edward Belair. We'll wait and see if there is any penalties here on this wave of green flag stops. So we see Mark Belair, Edward Belair, like Anthony Garland, Josh Bromfield, and Devin Black all hit pit lane here together, and unfortunately for the 25 ride of Edward Belair, makes another mistake, slid through his box right there. Unfortunately, he's going to have to take a little less fuel right there. That may be a huge difference maker. That may unfortunately set him back a little bit more. He's got to try to come out here with all the drivers that he just came down pit lane with. You got to get lined up here as quickly as possible. Try to get that draft rolling. Try to keep yourself as best as possible in this hunt at the front. But now look out! Contact trying to get down pit side. The 48 ride goes for a slide. Grant Humphreys around. He rolls back up and onto the racing surface. No caution flag as of yet. Now he's going to back it up. He's going to sit there for a while. He's trying to catch a caution. He's still trying to roll it up onto the racetrack here. Unfortunately, for the Must Love Poodles number 48 ride, no yellow flag. It stays clean and green. Unfortunately, no one else was coming there as he was going around, and no caution to help him along his way here this afternoon. Let's take a look back at it, see what happened here, as we did see him and his other Must Love Poodles teammates looking to hit pit road right here. And unfortunately for that 48 of Grant Humphrey, as he kind of hits pit lane, he starts to come down. I'm not sure who it is that gets into him, but somebody clips him and takes him for a ride, as looked like maybe he was a late decision here, as he kind of stays out a little bit more. Everyone else jumps down pit lane. The 8 ride was not coming down pit side to Rob Tuisku, and I think that just kind of produces this, contact, this issue. You see everyone else, they're electing to come down pit lane, and usually when you're coming down pit side, you try to get down to the apron as quick as possible to allow the other drivers that aren't pitting clean racetrack around you, and unfortunately here for the 48, he just elects to stay on the racing surface right here. Kind of no fault but his own right there. The 8 ride of Tuisku's not coming down pit side, so he's got to keep his foot in the throttle. Ends up running into the back end of the 48, jacks him up, turns him sideways in for Humphrey. That's a tough break for him, but unfortunately, no one else is coming. No caution flags there for him, and that unfortunately is going to set him back a ton, as he still has to make that green flag pit stop, still has to hit pit road, and for the Must Love Poodles run, now finds himself going to be back deep in the field here. More than likely may even lose a lap from that mistake, as it looks like his Must Love Poodles teammates may kind of come out of this in a decent spot here, in a pretty good spot out there on the racetrack. For the others, may not be as good, because I think for Austin Smith, he had made that stop, but so hasn't the 2 Must Love Poodles rides right in front of him, so it looks like more mistakes here for the Must Love Poodles rides. Chris Muse and Evan Fuqua, they're trying to just stay on the lead lap right here. The car that's on their back bumper, that is the 4 rider, Austin Smith. Smith is the first driver in the running order that has made green flag pit stops. Now there's contact. Look out. We see that number 75 of Fuqua gets sideways down out of core number 2. Luckily enough, catches it, keeps it point to point in the right direction. He unfortunately does find himself going a lap down out there on the racetrack, as here comes the rest of what will be our lead pack out there on the Speedway. The 75 ride tries to get hooked up with them, as we see Rob Tuisku, James Garland, Mike Killingbeck, all sporting those beautiful, in loving memory of Brandon Randall on the rides of those race cars. They're going to get ready to roll back out there, but here comes our race leaders up in around them there, obviously getting checked up, obviously having to slow down from that contact during that wave of green flag pit stops, getting into the back end of that 48 ride, really killed a lot of their speed and momentum, kind of dropped them back far enough that they're going to find themselves rolling down the back straightaway here, and unfortunately just trying to catch this draft, trying to get in with these guys, trying to get something rolling and keep themselves as much as they can in this battle. Unfortunately, they may lose that draft, and they may unfortunately be kind of stuck in no man's land out there on the racetrack. It's out in front. It is the 4 ride of Austin Smith, the 3 machine here, Chris Muse, I believe, for Muse, and potentially the 75 ride of Evan Fuqua. I think they may come into the pits, and unfortunately maybe a little too fast on entry right here, and I think both the Must Love Poodles rides get snagged for too fast entering pit road, and I do believe for both drivers, they're going to get a hold down pit lane here, and that's where we see them kind of get put into this position. Even that little slide through the box right there, unfortunately, that's not enough. It was definitely a pit road mistake there for them, as Muse will now fall lap down as the Dallas Cowboys number 81 rider Anthony Garland will take over the race lead. Now Muse is trying to race his way, you know, kind of still on the lead lap. He wants to stay on the lead lap as best as he can, and being at the front of the field may be the best chance for him. If he starts to fall back throughout this pack, he may lose that lucky dog position. It may put him into a tough spot here late in this race. So he's trying to stay on the lead lap, or worst case scenario, be that first car one lap down out there on the speedways. Unfortunately, outside lane, not a whole lot of help there, but Austin Smith gets a great run here as the 4 ride will lead the charge here. He gets around the 81 of Anthony Garland, but Garland in the inside lane will battle right back down through corner number 1 and 2, and you do see that 3 machine of Muse back up the racetrack in front of that outside lane, trying to slow them down a little bit, trying to use their speed and momentum to keep him in front of the field. But now Muse leaves them high and dry, jumps down low. The 4 ride to his outside, trying to put him a lap down here. And I think for a lot of these race leaders, I don't think they appreciate the 3 ride being up here with them right now. I don't know if any of them really want to see this 3 ride here, because they're trying to battle for the race lead. They're trying to battle for the race win. And as they head down through the tri-oval and across the line, they will see only 8 laps left to go here in this feature event. And now you do see a little 3 wide as Devin Black decides he'll go to the outside groove here. Unfortunately, got no one with them. No one jumping up there to go to that 3rd lane with that 7 machine, and he may just gotta be hung out there high and dry. But we do see the 16 machine of Gary Wright. Gary Wright's coming up real quick, and that's gonna tighten things up as there'll be 4 wide. There's the contact, and there is our caution flag. Yellow flag, late race caution right here. And I think this kind of works out perfectly here. I'm going to say for Devin Black, probably for his teammates and a lot of other teammates out there. Works out perfectly for Chris Muse, as I believe Muse will stay on the lead lap here. I don't think he'll be scored as the first driver a lap down out there on the racetrack, but this is going to start just behind our race leaders here as the 16 ride kind of comes into play, starts to come into view. I think what you're going to see is the 7 of Devin Black. He's trying to go 3 wide here already. All of a sudden, they're going to be 4 wide here when they start to roll into this 16 ride. So they got a plan to be 4 wide around this lap car. And unfortunately, I think they're just going to run out of space here. They're just going to get too tight together. And as they're kind of rolling up into the 16, the air's kind of changing on the front end of these cars. And unfortunately, it looks like, man, it just looks like they run out of room right here. Things kind of get stacked up. The 9 ride is pushing this 28 machine, trying to keep him going, trying to keep that middle groove kind of steamrolling around the 7. And unfortunately for Dom Slavo here, looks like as he kind of gets long jammed in between the 0-0 and the 9 ride, just ends up kind of getting loose, gets turned up over the nose of that 7 of Devin Black. Gary Wright nowhere to go. Corey Crowell, he's going to get clipped in it. Crowell's going to go around here as well. Big hit there for Slavo. Big hit for the 2 machine of Corey Crowell as he'll end up into that corner 3 fence as well. But enough for the caution flag to come back out late in this race to give us a late race restart here at Talladega Super Speedway. I think for all these drivers, this is really not what they wanted to see. I don't think they really wanted to have this caution flag fly. I don't think they really wanted to have to deal with this yellow flag out there on the speedway, but unfortunately, they're going to have to deal with it. It is definitely going to be something that they're going to have to fight here this evening, and we'll see kind of who's able to take advantage of it here, whether or not it's just, you know, making a trip down pit side or not coming down pit road, as you will see Corey Crowell, Devin Black, they're down pit lane. Dom Salvo, he's down pit side. All these other drivers heading down pit road here, making these pit stops late in the race. Now, some of them may be for damage repair. Some of them may be for fuel. I think for Chris Muse, great break for him as he will stay on the lead lap, and he will stay very much in the fight here at the front of the field. But it is definitely going to be tough for him to try to battle back up throughout the pack. But if anyone's going to be able to do it, man, it may be that number 3 ride. He was obviously showing he's got some great pace, some great speed out of that 3 machine. We'll see if he can work his way up there and put himself into the battle here late in this race. But it's going to be very, very fun, very interesting. See how it all plays out, as Austin Smith will be the race leader here for what could be our final restart of the day. Our final restart here this evening, potentially, for these Outcast Racing League drivers. And that means a quick little commercial break as our 9th caution flag is displayed. We'll get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at Must Love Poodles.
Who are we? We are Must Love Poodles. Where poodles aren't just dogs, they're family. We are a very small in-home breeder of AKC miniature and small standard poodles, where our motto is quality over quantity. Where every litter is thoughtfully and intentionally bred, and we know that the best puppies come from great parents. And that's why we test every single parent dog for all genetic and orthopedic related issues. But we don't stop there. We also take our dogs to AKC events and make sure they get titles to prove that they have great temperaments. Every puppy is hand-raised in our home and well socialized. We also utilize puppy curriculum and early training methods, which make our puppies a snap to train. They're very eager and human-focused. Every puppy is also temperament tested, which helps us match the puppy to the right home. At Must Love Poodles, we can't promise you the perfect puppy, but we do promise that we will do our very best to prepare your puppy for its future. If you're looking to add a smart, sociable, and highly trainable dog, and you want a breeder that will be there for you before, during, and after, come on over to www.mustlovepoodles.com or follow us on our Facebook page. We'll see you there.
Tonight's racing action is brought to you by RT3 Design LLC. When it comes to designing your dream home, precision matters, just like it does on the racetrack. At RT3 Design, we specialize in custom residential design, construction drawings, and bringing your vision to life, from concept to blueprint. If you can dream it, we can design it. RT3 Design LLC, built on precision, designed for life.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go, as our main feature event is about to come to a close here this evening from Talladega Super Speedway, as the Brandon Randall Memorial Race quickly comes to its conclusion here this evening for the Outcast Racing League drivers. Here this evening, a big checkered flag on the horizon for one of these drivers to get it done here in this one. Who will it be? Who will find themselves up and in the Daga top spot and celebrating here on the front straightaway at Talladega Super Speedway here this evening? For each and every one of these drivers, it is a 4-lap shootout here this evening, unless if we see another late race caution flag fly, then we will stack them up, we will rack them up, and more than likely we will go to NASCAR overtime here this evening from Talladega, which is definitely a big question mark for each and every one of these drivers, as fuel may come into play. And a lot of strategy late in this race may have to be played out for each and every one of these drivers. As here we go, down through the United Rentals restart zone. The Milwaukee number 4 of Austin Smith gets a great launch, great jump right there, hoping to keep his teammate Colton Manich right there with him, but they kind of get broken up down low. Now you do see the 81 of Anthony Garland getting a great jump here from that 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey pushing him down through 1 and 2, and now down the back straightaway. That second lane's trying to get going, but all of a sudden they're going to jump up and leave the bottom groove, and they're going to go 3 wide right out of the hop. Unfortunately for Smith and a few of these other drivers, they're going to have nowhere to go. As oh no, there it is. Caution flag is back out. Caution flag, caution flag. Oh, man, we figured it was coming. We figured there was going to be something else that's going to happen late in this race, and it looks like just some moves down the back straightaway, and for, obviously, for the 21 or 81 rider, Anthony Garland, just like the Dallas Cowboys, unfortunately, you know, right there towards the finish line, they end up crashing and burning out there And unfortunately, it's just not going to work out for him, as you do see Humphrey. Humphrey decides to leave him here, jumps down into that bottom groove here. Now, unfortunately, not much going on the bottom lane, and I think for Anthony, tries to stick with the 12 ride of Bromfield, but kind of blocks the middle groove in the 44. Ryan Anderson just gets in there. He's in the middle, different arrow. Things are tight, and unfortunately, looks like he's just going to push up the racetrack here as they enter corner number 3. And as he does push up, he gets up into that left rear quarter panel of the 81 ride. And from that point on, it's on like Donkey Kong. Anthony gets turned around down the racetrack into the lap there of Tyler Humphrey, then back up the speedway, and everyone else just trying to figure out where to go, how to avoid it. Unfortunately, Michael Wolf, Chris Muse, they both end up hard contact up there on the outside lane. Looks like Dom Salvo is going to get some contact into James Garland. Devin Black in the 69 of Benton, they get tied together, and so many other drivers just all of a sudden tore up out there on the speedway as, oh man, the 81 ride of Anthony Garland in a great spot here late in the race. Unfortunately, that's Talladega in a nutshell for you, as gets turned, gets taken out here. Hard contact into the outside fence. Hard contact from the 10 ride. Muse is right in the thick of it. There's Devin Black, Brantlinger, Benton all timed together. More contact for that 10 ride, and for each and every one of these drivers just bouncing off one another. You look at Corey Crowell, and unfortunately for the 22 ride, they also get tied up in it, man. Big hit there for Nicholas Barton, and for so many of these drivers, just really not a lot of room, not a lot of grooves to kind of make your decision and make a lane there and find your way through it. Let's see if we can jump on board with the 44 ride, because down the back straightaway, he makes a pretty bold move here. Most of the time you would watch Ryan Anderson stay to the back bumper here at Colton Manage, but he's going with so much more speed, so much more pace here, that he says, you know what, I'm going to take advantage of it, finds the hole, jumps into the middle, and he's just going to stay in the middle the whole time until corner number 3, and unfortunately, yeah, just pushes up the track into the 81 right. Heavy contact for them, and if you look through that top right mirror there, you can just see all the chaos ensue back there behind him. Now let's see if we can take a look at Chris Muse in this aspect of it. Is Muse trying to just find his way through it? He's a few car lengths back from it. Unfortunately, things happen here at Talladega so dang quickly. Now unfortunately, there's nowhere for him to go. Could not get checked up in time. Big contact there multiple times here for that Muscle of Poodles number 3 ride. Benton, Crowell, Barton, Anthony Garland, so many drivers tore up out there on the speedway. As my boy Kevin Timmy, what's good, Kev? Kev coming in, showing the love, says, I'm late again. I need to set an alarm. You definitely need to set an alarm, brother. That is for certain. You can't be missing these important races, as luckily enough, you're here for the best part, brother. The amazing finish that's about to be produced here this evening for the Brandon Randall Memorial Race here this evening from Talladega Super Speedway. One of these drivers is going to find their way into victory lane, whether it's through green flag conditions or the caution flag out there on the speedway, as we'll get ready to send them into our first NASCAR overtime here this evening. So if you guys do not know, NASCAR overtime will work like this. As they take the green flag, they will have one lap around the racetrack to see the white flag fly. If they do not see the white flag fly in time and the caution flag is produced, then we will stack them up, we will rack them up, and we will do it all over again. But if they see the white flag come out, then they will see the next flag will be the checkered flag there. So each and every one of these drivers, knowing now that it's a 2-lap shootout, that they have to make 2 laps to get to that checkered flag, the craziness is just going to keep on heating up. None of these drivers are going to be backing down. They're going to take every single run, every single inch that they can, which could create more chaos, more mayhem out there on the speedway, and more caution flags. So we only have, I do believe, let me double check, it should be 3. No, it is 2 green-white checkers. So normally it's 3, but here tonight it is 2 green-white checkers for these drivers. So that means 2 attempts here at NASCAR overtime this afternoon. If they see the caution flag flying on the first one before the white flag, then we will do it all over again. But if during that second attempt at NASCAR overtime, if the caution flag flies before the white flag, then that caution flag will end the race. that yellow flag will virtually lock the field where they were running, and everybody that was not collected in the big wreck will all finish right where they are on the racetrack. They will not battle back to the line. It will not be a race back to the checkered flag. It will be field frozen at the time of the yellow, and that's how the race will end. So I think for each and every one of these drivers, man, I mean, they're going to get one really good solid chance at this. I'm hoping that they can see the white flag fly. I'm hoping that they can save all the chaos until at least that final lap and allow this race to end under the green flag conditions. We do not want to see it end under yellow here this evening. As Kev says, I completely missed Kansas. Brother, how in the world? How in the world do you completely miss a race? Hopefully you went back and rewatched it. Hopefully you enjoyed a great show there at Kansas Speedway. And hopefully here tonight you get to enjoy some crazy, crazy racing to finish off our Talladega Super Speedway race here in the Brandon Randall Memorial Race here this evening, as the pace car will potentially make the final left-hand turn down pit side. And here we go for what could be our final restart of the evening. It's Josh Bromfield, Tyler Humphrey, 1 and 2 down through the United Rentals restart zone, back to green flag racing here in this one. Big launch, great restart right there for the 12 ride of Josh Bromfield. Exactly what Brom was looking for right there. And now he has Tyler Humphrey on his back bumper, Bryden Heaton, who's been a great pusher all night long. Heaton in that beautiful Smoky Ridge Racing number 88 ride rolls there in third. Rob Tuwisku back in fourth. He's got that 4 ride of Austin Smith right there with him. Now here comes Mark Belair, a few more of these drivers as they're tied up in. They're wrecking back there at the back of the pack. Caution flag is back out here. Looks like Chris Muse tied up in it again. Evan Fuqua may have gotten into it. Looked like Michael Wolf in there. Lance Brantlinger, he's in it, and he's already parked down pit side here as the caution flag will come back out as these guys are battling back here, you know, kind of outside our top 12, top 15 out there on the speedway here. But even though they're back there outside the top 15, they're still battling hard. As Chris Muse all over the back bumper of this 10 ride, trying to make some moves here. Gets to the outside of the 10, and then you're just going to see Brantlinger kind of move up right here. So Brantlinger sees these guys coming. So does the 2 of Corey Crowell. They kind of jump to the middle lane. See if we can take a look here at Brantlinger in this beautiful GoodWrench.com number 29 ride. So they're going to get a good run here on these guys. They see the 20 and the 69 ride. They're just not getting that much speed, that much momentum down at a corner number 2. So they jump to the middle lane right here. And as the 29 ride comes up to try to follow the 2 ride through, they don't make any contact there. 10 ride then falls in line in behind the Yield Max 20 machine, and then they're just going to kind of both aim for the middle, and they just run out of room here. Muse looks to go to the outside. I'm assuming Muse, right here at this point, expects this 10 ride to go to the outside lane. With the speed momentum that they have, they could easily make their way around this 20 ride and the 69, and maybe even the 29 and 2 ride. Unfortunately, though, it just seems like the 10 starts to get checked up, tries to fall in behind the 20 machine of Darrell Whitford. The 3 goes to the outside, then the 10 and 29, just, I don't know if they're both looking for the middle lane here. Get tied together, shoves the 10 of Wolf up the racetrack into the lap there of Chris Muse. Muse got nowhere to go. The 29 ride, unfortunately for Lance Brantlinger, gets sent down the racetrack, hard contact into that inside safer barrier. And you see all these other drivers side up in it, turned around as well. Looks like Brandon Puffenbarger, big hit there for him. As let's take another look at it as they get tied together here. Muse in that outside lane. He's trying to get going here at the 10 ride. All of a sudden has the 10 ride parked right on his nose. And as they kind of get pulled off of one another, oh man, big hit right there as kind of see how the 10 bounces back off of Chris Muse here, ends up washing back up into the middle of the racetrack, parking it right on to the nose here of the 22 of Nicholas Barton. Barton's got nowhere to go. He slams into the 10 ride, and then here comes the 5 machine of Brandon Puffenbarger as well. All of a sudden, the 10 car's parked there in the middle of the speedway. He drives right through the back bumper of that 10 machine, down the racetrack, hard contact into the infield safer barrier there for himself, as well as the Caution flag comes back out. Drivers here at the rear of the field running into some major issues, and unfortunately another big caution flag late in this race. So another yellow flag means another restart here, and we now head in to our final green-white checkered here. This is what we kind of didn't want to see, as they're going to have one more attempt at this, one more chance to try to finish this race under the green flag conditions. So it will be a 2-lap shootout once again, a green-white checkered finish here this evening for each and every one of these drivers. They will restart if they can get back to the start-finish line after completing a lap and pick up the white flag. The next flag will end this race, which will be that checkered flag. They will battle back no matter what to the checkered flag if they see the white flag fly. If the caution flag does fly, though, on that first of 2 laps, and the yellow flag comes back out, the race, the field will be frozen to where they are, and they will race back under yellow across the start-finish line. So being out in front here on this restart and through corner 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway, where we've seen some of this chaos and mayhem kind of get created, start to kind of really creep up on these drivers, to be out in front may be the best position to be in, because that may put you into the winning position. A caution flag may, allow you to win this race under the yellow here this evening if you're just simply sitting out in front and having these drivers back there behind you. You're not making a move yet out there on the racetrack, as the lights will turn off the official iRacing pace car, and that means we will get ready for another big restart here at Talladega Super Speedway for what will officially be our final restart here this evening. This will be the final restart of the day for each and every one of these drivers. It's time to shine. It is time to find a groove. It is time to find a lane. If you can find a dancing partner to work with here, it could put you into a really good position late in this race. And looking at some of these drivers up towards the front of the field, there's one group we're taking a look at here that I think is going to make some big moves here. You look at our 5th place driver in line, this Milwaukee number 4 machine of Austin Smith. Smith is lined up here with a teammate right there behind him. Colton Manich is there in 7th, and behind him another teammate in that Shenko Custom Diecast number 28 ride, Dom Slavo, there in position number 9 on the racetrack. So I think for that team, they have 3 drivers lined up here. Now, they're a couple rows deep. They're going to have to try to find a different lane. They're going to have to try to find their groove. They're trying to work themselves up there. But for the Middle Finger Motorsports, actually, I think Smith isn't a part of that team. I think Poffenbarger is part of that team. Who's Smith with? It's the first time we've seen him out there on the racetrack here this season, and it doesn't look like he's in a Discord chat with anybody. So I think he may be just a lone wolf out there on the racetrack here tonight. But normally, we've seen Smith work pretty well with Colton Manich and Dom Salvo in the past. So you got to wonder if potentially he's going to work with them here nonetheless late in this race. And if that is the case, because we've seen them working together here already this afternoon, even though they may not be in Discord together, I'm assuming that they're going to be working together here as they're going to head down towards that Geico restart zone, the United Rentals restart zone. Bromfield with a big jump, big launch right there for the 12 ride, able to get what he was looking for quickly. Clears the outside lane, jumps in front of Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey will stay glued there to his back bumper as they make a little bit of contact down and in through corner 1 and 2. Here comes that inside lane being led by Brian Heaton. He's getting a great shove here from that 4 ride, as unfortunately for the 4 Smith does not have that 0-0 or the 28 ride to Salvo there on his back bumper, but they're tight together back there deeper through the field. They're trying to get rolling. They're trying to get that 3rd lane rolling here as Colton Manich and Salvo jump up into that 3rd lane here on the Speedway. Killingbeck in the middle there has Mark Belair all over his back bumper as they head down and into the tri-oval. So far it has been clean and green, and as they head back down and across the line, they will see the white flag fly. So this will be the final lap here at Talladega Super Speedway here this evening. It's Josh Bromfield out in front who continues to lead the charge, but right there is Rob Tuwisku, that 4 of Austin Smith. The 88 ride of Brian Heaton's there as well as there's issues. Colton Manich is around. Dom Salvo, they're tied up with him. Unfortunately for those drivers, they will fall to the rear of the field. But out in front, Heaton gets shuffled through the middle. So does in the 48 ride of Grant Humphreys. Out in front, it's the 8. But a big move out of the 12 ride. Here comes Bromfield. Here comes Smith. They're 3 wide, 4 wide, down through the tri-oval. Everybody's trying to find their way to the race lead and sideways down across the line. Oh man, I don't even know who got it. Who got it? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what a finish. 3, 4, 5 wide, down and across the start-finish line. This one's too close to call. We got to play it back. We got to throw it back. Put it in reverse, Terry. Let's take a look at it. As there's contact here. We knew that was bound to happen. But the 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey giving some big shots here to the 4 of Austin Smith. It gets Smith up the racetrack, and at the same time, we see Tuwisku in the 12 of Bromfield. They're already bouncing off one another. Here comes Humphrey. He's rolling that inside lane, and it is going to be a tight call back to the line, but I think it may be Josh Bromfield. I think Bromfield, 100 feet before that, he's running in that 4th position behind these guys, but all that contact, everything else, I think it's going to be the 12 ride who wins this race back down across the line, and it is the 12 of Josh Bromfield who picks up the dub in a photo finish here from Talladega Super Speedway. Bromfield picks up the win. A sideways Must Love Poodles number 9 of Tyler Humphrey will come home in second, and Mark Belair in the Sport Clips number 11 will come home in third here this evening. Rob Tuwisku, Austin Smith round out our top 5 with Devin Black, Corey Crowell, Anthony Garland, Grant Humphrey, and Brian Heaton rounding out our top 10 out there on the Speedway. But it's all Josh Bromfield as Bromfield picks up the win and gets to celebrate here at Talladega Super Speedway. Bromfield will burn down the house. Him and his teammates will celebrate here in this one. Probably the only time the Cowboys car will ever celebrate here on the next little while here. Another 30 years of disappointment there for the Cowboys. That is for certain. I'm just joshing with you there, Anthony. But Anthony and the team get to celebrate a big win here at Talladega Super Speedway as the Poor Boy Motorsports rides find victory here at Talladega. And we'll get ready to pull Bromfield and the rest of our top 3 into the broadcast booth here this evening. As Randall Barton says, good race, great show, great performance here by each and every one of these drivers, battling and duking it out right down to the checkered flag here this evening. And we'll get ready to pull them up and into the booth here today, man, for what is going to be some crazy post-race interviews, man. I know Bromfield is going to be very, very ecstatic here, picking up the dub here in this one. He's going to be absolutely pumped up about this one as we'll get him and the rest of our top 3 up here into the booth. As, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Josh Bromfield. Hey, Josh, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Hey, yeah, I got you.
Josh, man, what a run, what a race for you here this evening as you park that 12 ride up and in victory lane here at Talladega Super Speedway after what was a very crazy day here at the racetrack. Obviously, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of, highlights and lowlights here for a lot of drivers. We see you get tied up, sent backwards, driving back up to the front, kind of sitting mid-pack, just trying to wait and bide your time. And here you are late in this race. You're out in front. You have control there for a couple of these late race restarts, and you're just trying to keep these guys back there at bay. Unfortunately, there in this final 2-lap shootout, the final green-white checkered, you kind of get surrounded real quickly. You fall back a little bit, but here you are battling right back in 3, 4 wide, back down across the line, and as they're slipping and sliding and crashing right there below you, you're able by inches to beat Tyler Humphrey back to the start-finish line and win this race here at Dega, brother. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind after a crazy day here at the Speedway?
Well, first off, I'm super excited. Very grateful for everybody racing out there. Nobody just took anybody out. It was a lot of fun. Kind of reminded me of the ARCA race yesterday, where they was bumping and grinding going up to the to the line. Overall, the whole day, there's a ton of good drivers, and there's a lot of people faster. I was trying to run the low line most of the day, and just found that being on the top side was a little faster. Uh, and then on those restarts, I figured I'd start low and try to get a decent jump and not get too far out in front, and see if I could block, make my bumper the size of the track. And again, it's just such good drivers. They got around me. I was kind of worried. I didn't see anybody pushing, and then finally somebody was there and got a little run. And Twisku, he was super fast. Heck of a race. I always love a good finish like that at Talladega. So good race.
Yeah, good race, very exciting finish, man, and an amazing show here on this fine Sunday afternoon for the Outcast Racing League. And for yourself, you parked this poor boy motorsports ride up and into victory lane. Josh, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great performance out there on the Speedway?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my team. If it wasn't for the team and everybody working together and coming up with strategies, Anthony, he's kind of our strategy guy, and it paid off. He has a lot of great ideas. And then Outcast Racing League for putting on a good race. And you, Peacemaker, always amazing broadcast. And then the race control, I thought the race control did a really good job today with handling some of the wrecks and stuff like that. So overall, it was a great day, and super excited. It's been a while since I've been able to get a first place finish. Heck, I think it's been, I don't even think last season I had a top finish, close, but never able to pull it off. So I'm super excited to be back up here again.
Yeah, back up in victory lane, once again a winner here in the Outcast Racing League. Josh, congratulations on the great run, the great finish here, and parking yourself up and into the Talladega Super Speedway victory lane here in the Brandon Randall Memorial Race. Josh, congrats on the great run, congrats on the great performance, and we look forward to seeing you back out there on the Speedway again next Sunday.
Yep, next Sunday at Texas. Maybe we can get a two-peat.
That would be beautiful, brother. We can't wait to see what you got in store for us and see if you can park this 12 ride right back up here in Victory Lane. Enjoy the rest of your night and don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane.
That's right.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Josh Bromfield, as Bromfield picks up the dub and pulls himself up and in to victory lane here this evening, as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher. It is the Must Love Poodles number 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey. Let's get Tyler up here into the booth. Hey, Tyler, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Yes, sir.
Tyler, man, another good run, another strong performance for you here in this one and late in this race, trying to make the right decisions, trying to put yourself in the right spot, and it almost paid off perfectly for you as you were pushing that 4 right of Austin Smith down through that tri-oval. Luckily enough, you kind of gave him enough shots where it opened up the door for you to work yourself down to that yellow line, able to get underneath of him. It seemed like you had the speed, you had the momentum, as the 3 cars you were outside kind of started to get tangled together as well. It kind of gave you what looked to be the race lead, probably about 100 feet away from that start-finish line. But then they kind of come back down the racetrack. You get tied up with them. You get sideways there, and it's just enough to slow you down and make you sideways enough there that Bromfield beats you back down across the line and steals this race away from you there right at the start-finish line. And what is another amazing photo finish here at Talladega, brother. Take us back through what's going to go through your mind after a crazy night of racing action here from Talladega Super Speedway.
Oh man, yeah, that was something. I did not lift much right there on the final tri-oval. I was just trying to coax them into all making a mistake. I could see everybody tightening up as always. It seems like that's what they like to do coming out of the tri-oval. And I was like, yeah, just give them a little bump, see what they decide to do. And I don't know if maybe somebody came down, maybe my bump got him, pushed him up. I don't really know. It's always such a mess right there. But I I saw them move up and was like, I'm taking this bottom, but I knew they were coming back down. I was like, all right, gotta hold this wheel. I'd say I held it pretty good. That close to the win. Yeah, I felt like I held a pretty good wheel the rest of the way. So, yeah, it was a great race. I don't know why. I enjoy finishing second a whole lot when there's races like this. The win's cool, but it's also just fun to be a part of a finish like this. So, yeah, I mean, a tough day. This package is super hard to navigate, but I think we all did a good job of putting on a good finish at the end right there for everybody watching.
Yeah, a very exciting finish, a very good finish here for all of the fans in the stands here this afternoon. Lots of beating and banging, battling all night long. The intensity level just continued to ramp up there. The craziness continued to shine out there on the racetrack. But, man, it was definitely very, very exciting here in this one. And for yourself, you park yourself, as you said, right back up here on the podium in position number 2. Unfortunately, tend to just come up a little bit shy here at these super speedway races. But, man, another great performance, another great race for you as you park that Must Love Poodles machine back up here on the podium. Tyler, who would you like to thank for another great night of racing action here from Talladega Super Speedway?
I'd like to thank all my sponsors, Must Love Poodles, Isabel's Impact, Landesco, the Bar Distillery, Team Chevy, my team with Haptic Performance Racing, Chris, Evan, Grant, for all they do every week. Hoping this week will be the start of a new beginning with maybe me being able to go practice with them more often. I'm super excited to see how that turns out. All the viewers, you for the broadcasting, and Anthony for putting this league on, the admins for everything they do, race control. We couldn't do it without all of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's teamwork that makes the dream work here, not only on the racetrack, but there in the admin group as well. To put these shows together and to get things rolling and to keep you guys in here showing up and under control out there on the racetrack, man. It's another great race, another great show for all the fans in the stands here this evening. Tyler, congratulations on the second place finish. We look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack again next Sunday, maybe right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe one spot better, though, and up in victory lane here next Sunday.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You as well.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Tyler Humphrey, as Humphrey comes home in position number 2 here this evening. Now, unfortunately, we don't have Mark Belair here in the Discord. I don't see Mark. I mean, the 11 ride came home with a great finish there, a great run for the young man, and for Mark Belair, huge shout out there to Mark, coming home with a great run, great drive, great performance in that Sport Clips number 11 machine as he comes home in position number 3 here this evening. Up and on the podium there for Mark Belair to finish off Talladega Super Speedway, man. Heck of a show, heck of a drive there for him. Okay, so we do see Ed Parnelli in the chat. Nope, that is in the Team Mecca Motorsports channel. Hoping to find and see if he was in any of the team channels, but I don't see him in there. Not in the post-race interviews room either. So, unfortunately, doesn't look like we're going to get our third place driver in here. So, again, huge shout out there to Mark Belair. Great run, great drive, great performance for him, man. And another great show, another great race from each and every single one of these drivers. Unfortunately, though, that's going to do it for us here in this one, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We cannot thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here this evening. And if you guys did enjoy that racing action, if you guys enjoyed the show here this evening, make sure you guys do us a quick favor right now. It's absolutely free to do. Helps us out a ton. Hit the thumbs up button on the stream for us right now. Every single like, comment, share helps push the stream out a ton here to more amazing viewers and amazing fans in the stands to tune in and watch this amazing racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming. And if you guys enjoyed the show, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today, as we're going to be right back up here in the broadcast booth in probably about another 20 minutes from now. A little dirt track racing here, middle of the afternoon, as we'll go to the dirt track for some amazing racing at Port Royal Speedway here in just a little bit. And then later on tonight, we'll be back in here with the NASCAR Cup cars at beautiful Echo Park Speedway. Now, I guess Atlanta Motor Speedway, for everyone to tune in and enjoy some more amazing racing here to close out your night on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all in the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Engines roar louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Outcast League, tearing up the blacktop terrain. Rubber burning speed, churning gasoline in their veins. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends, never out of sight. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends, never out of sight. Racetrack gladiators, helmets on tight. Every second matters, every turn ignites. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray. Louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray. Engines roar louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Outcast League, tearing up the blacktop terrain. Rubber burning speed, churning gasoline in their veins. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends, never out of sight. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends, never out of sight. Racetrack gladiators, helmets on tight. Every second matters, every turn ignites. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray. Louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray.